Oh, apparently we're live. Good evening, ladies. I've got a bit of a sore throat before you start. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another 42 Level 1. I'm one of your hosts, Alice Kennedy, and here with me, as always, is Rude, the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube, the Uncharted 3 liar and denier, and also the Sonic denier, the man of many names, but we just call him one, Addy.
Miss Anzerker here as always.
See, I
Back
watched
once again.
like the Renegade Master, D for
Yes.
Damager.
Exactly.
Power to the people, back once again with it. That's a tune. I was listening to that the other day, actually, with the kids. I give them all the classics like that.
Nice.
A bit of Limp Bizkit was there as well, but it's difficult to find radio edits these days, because there's some of those mother fudgers that I don't want them.
Do you know what I heard? A radio edit of Slim Shady today on the radio, like
Did you?
on actual live radio today, not like a.
I haven't heard
random
Eminem
channel.
in radio since probably that one he did with the Rihanna that was on all the time.
Yeah, but it was funny because they edited out, so it wasn't like they bleeped it. Like they edited out all of the kind of the potentially controversial bits. Worse. So like it was just silent for those bits. It's not like, because normally when they do like an edit, it's like they put in a funny noise or they put a beep or whatever.
Or like when D12 made two versions of songs, like Purple Hills and Purple Pills.
Yeah, exactly. So like you can do something creative with that. But no, this was just like Slim Shady, but they took out all the controversial parts in it. It's not even like he was like taking out bits that swore. There was a bit where they took out the word fat. I'm like, what?
Are you sure it was fat and not like an offensive word to gay people that he used to always say?
Oh, I mean, it might have been actually. I thought it was fat, but maybe it was. And they took out the word drugs.
Say fat.
They took out the word drugs. I'm like,
the word drugs isn't offensive.
Exactly.
But I've given up with that. So if anybody watching the show knows, I'm off of Twitter again. I'm done. Like, it's becoming what Facebook was 10 years ago. Like, everybody's aunties now got it and got an opinion. And since the new algorithms come in, I'm seeing a lot more of other people's opinions that just annoy me. And I'm like, why is this boiling my blood? Like, I'm following people that I like, and it's because it constantly puts you onto this for you or recommended page. And I'm like, it's purposefully showing me stuff that I might engage in with an opposite viewpoint. I know what it's doing. And I'm like, this stuff's just really sucky that I'm reading. And I'm like, some of it's quite racist as well. And like, so it's clearly a completely opposite viewpoint from own. And I'm like, I'm going to get annoyed here and answer something. And that used to annoy me in Facebook. So that's why I stopped. So see, I just went, do you know what? I'm fucking wasting my time here. Do you know what? I could be playing another game to review. Do you know what? I could be writing a fucking review, and instead I'm doom scrolling on Twitter. See if I want to find out something, Google will find the answer. And do you know what? See, for the past few days it has. And I don't know if you caught it, but I said if anyone wants to message me, friend, just send it to Andy. He'll get back to me.
do you know what? Like, I totally agree with you about Twitter. Like, I only use it to follow like specific people, like creators generally that I'm like interested in. What
YouTubers, posting. Things like that. Yeah,
YouTubers,
and Warhammer
and, like,
stuff,
and like Warhammer stuff. Like, because like what the Warhammer stuff's good because like people post pictures all the time of other models, and I find it interesting to see that.
Yeah, so I'll agree with you. You know my opinion, Warhammer. I'm like, I've not got a steady hand or patience. I can't do it. I think it's a cool enough world, but I can't get involved in it. And seeing like somebody like G, like one of our friends, he posts like in development, like here's what it is, here's day 1, day 2, and you see, honestly, like seeing the progress of it, it's quite cool. Even though like I don't even know what they are or anything. I know it's. I said like a grandpa. Oh, is that a Warhammer? Is that a Warhammer? It's like, no, it's actually a 7th division, such and such, blah blah blah. And I'm like, so it's a Warhammer. So yeah, it's really cool seeing that, and like I like following like other journalists as well, like that write stuff, and I like guys like Nabel, like because I like my leaks, I like reading up and stuff as fast as possible.
Spoilers. And you like spoilers?
No, because we're going to talk about spoilers in a bit. Because one of them came out recently and really annoyed me, and I'm like, I'm not even searching for that. So I'm glad I'm off Twitter because it's going to show me something on purpose to annoy me, because that seems to be Elon's game. Is like, I'm getting more engagement if this person that blocks this kind of person is now seeing tweets from this kind of person. He's going to eventually snap and engage, and vice versa. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to engage. That's just like, he's just a shit stirrer, like at school. Like, oh, he said this about you, she said this about you, like trying to get folk to fight. That's all he's trying to do. And I get it. Like, controversy creates cash. That's a book by Eric Bischoff. But it's not for me. And I've just realized this is not productive for my time. And to be honest with you, most of our stuff is auto set up to post when we go live and things, and it's fine. But I'm planning on starting L3 to sprint. a very different way. It's not really long form videos, but the videos are going to take longer to make.
Produced content, really. Then
yes, that's the best way of putting it. So instead of me I'll still do the odd live and stuff, and I'm going to do a live when I'm ready to come back, because I was hoping to get something out by next week, and some of the recording of stuff is becoming trickier than expected. Like this is actually the second video, so I'm actually planning stuff in advance. So this is the video that is to go out in May. My first video should be going out end of March, April, which should give me enough time, but that's the time I'm going to need to put into it, because like getting gameplay footage is the smallest and easiest part of this whole thing. And like, I don't like scripting things, but I'm going to have to write bullet points so I stay on track. So, I'm trying to do it in a way that's, I find a lot of these documentaries, the people kind of make out, and I get it, it's an authoritarian voice so that it keeps your interest. So Game Rant likes you to write, and it's fine. I prefer being more expressive and doing like this show when it comes to videos, because there's going to be something I don't know, and you're going to have someone in the comments going, actually, and it's fine when it comes to Star Wars, because then I can actually them back most of the time. I will get back to Star Wars eventually, but yeah, 2 kids is tiring, so tough. But L3 to Sprint, like there's some stuff that I really want to work on and do there, and obviously 42 is not going anywhere, but it's a more relaxed show. This is going to be more, and it's not going to be weekly stuff I do for L3 either. It's just things I want to produce. And if I'm going to stream, I'll do it to L3, mostly because Andy's locked me out of stuff because of his fucking PlayStation shenanigans with the 42 accounts, and I can't get logged into certain things. It's not connected to this one. I'm like, disconnect it then. Doesn't matter. I just want to make some stuff, and it's going to be good. I think I'm going to enjoy it, because I'm not going to pretend that I know everything about the games I'm talking about and the subjects I'm talking about. I'm just going to be honest and go, I want to make a video on this. Here's my opinion. Here's what I'm talking about. And that's how I want to do it, because I was worrying myself last night. I was like, if you don't know the names of the XXX, so what? What's the fucking harm in not knowing the names of it? I can still talk about stuff that I'm passionate about and enjoy without knowing, like, you don't have to be a nerd about something to geek out about it. Like, I'm a nerd for Star Wars.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? And I know names of stuff, like you're a nerd for Marvel, like you know names of characters I don't even know, and I've been reading longer than you, but that's because you go into the nitty gritty and the B side of stuff. And like, it's fine sometimes to go, what's Captain America's pal called again? Like, that's okay. That's okay. And I was overthinking it too much, and that's what kind of held me back for nearly a week there. But I got some footage, and a funny thing was I sent a video to you actually the other night. Holy goodness, like I will stick to rendering on my Mac, and I know you don't like Macs, but this sounded like it was going to take off. I'll give it its fair shake. It didn't heat up one bit. It was actually cool to touch, obviously because it's got the cooling system in it. But my Mac, I don't even think it's got a fan in it. Like if it does, it's tiny. And
I'm pretty sure it has a fan in it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
But like I've got big vents at the side of this, you know, like it should have fire coming out of it.
Yeah.
But I prefer render. Like Macs are good for general creative stuff, and I do have suites of things on this. Like I even bought a program called Filmora that Fraser swore by, and I'm like, this isn't as good, and it's taking longer to render. And I've not got slow. This is not a slow computer by any means. This is like got an i7. The graphics cards in it's decent as well. I think it's a 2070 RTX, so plenty of memory. It's just I don't think PCs are designed the same. And don't get me wrong, you can spend thousands and build yourself a PC that will run, but my MacBook just does things like that. When it comes to that, when it comes to anything else, I'm using my PC. So yes, I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'm not going to do anything regular, and I'm not making anything promises. It'll come when it's ready, because I'm too bad over the years of going, I'm launching this week, I'm launching this, I'm launching that. All I've said is it's coming back soon. The difference is I'm not just streaming PlayStation games. I'm just doing everything now because I want to do everything. I can't put myself in a box, because I'm like, I can't just talk PlayStation, same as I couldn't just talk Xbox and I couldn't just talk Switch. When you're a multi-format gamer, it's very difficult. I understand if you've only got one of those systems, there's nothing wrong with only knowing PlayStation, but for me, I can't. I can't ignore things like Zelda and Final Fantasy on, it's practically PlayStation exclusive now. So, but then Gears 6 is going to come out, and I'm like, I'm going to want to speak about that and stuff. And I know we've got this show, but listen, nothing might come out of this. I might have just filled up my computer with gigabytes worth of game footage that I've recorded for no reason and whatever. But yeah, that is my plans, or was my plans. So I've played quite a bit. I think I've done quite a few reviews. I haven't done so much for Game Rant at the moment. But I've played quite a few games. Did I finish Hi-Fi Rush the last time we were on? Had I spoken about that?
Definitely not.
No. So I finished Hi-Fi Rush.
Nice.
It was all right. Like, I think the 5 out of 5s were a bit... Some people get too excited about the Shadow Drop. It was a okay game. It felt like a modern Dreamcast game or like a remake of a Dreamcast game. It was kind of Kingdom Hearts meets Guitar Hero. You play as a guy, I don't even know his name, who fell into a robot factory and got his iPod stuck in his chest.
Right.
Like, I would rather the combat was more fluid. Like, the combat felt clunky because you had to hit in time of the beat. So instead of going, you had to go, dish, dish, dish. But I just want to spam the button, whack them. Yeah. So it felt like a kind of restrictive Kingdom Hearts to me. But the art style and everything was lovely. Like, if they could get away from that rhythm element, I would have gave it a high. I didn't review actually, but I would have ranked it higher. But I enjoyed it enough. I just, all these 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10s, 100, it's not that good. It was okay. It's something that came when nobody was expecting anything, and the big games are starting to come now. So I think a lot of folk gave it that extra point because of the Shadow Drop and stuff. But it's, I would say give it a shot if you've got Game Pass. But if I'd bought this, I'd have been like, it was maybe 8-9 hours long, which is it's fine for a game.
Yeah.
And the bosses were quite cool. I did like some of it. I just didn't. The combat just felt so clunky because of that hit to the rhythm. I'm like, no, can I turn this option off? No, you can't. So yeah, it was enjoyable to the part. It kind of it wasn't really open at all, which is again fine. That's not a criticism, but I don't feel the notion to ever play that game again. If they did a sequel, I would check it out. However, I just sounds good in practice, but see when you have to hit, it doesn't feel like it just feels like a rhythm game then, and it's like I didn't know what it wanted to be in my mind. It's like, give me the option, like this should play like Devil May Cry or Kingdom Hearts or something in my mind, and it's not. Oh, did I cut out there?
Yeah, and your screen went away. I heard your voice right through. That's fine.
The power flickered in the house for some reason.
Oh right, okay. Your background went away for some reason, but like
my background.
Yeah, like I found the same issue with Metal Hellsinger, which was a rhythm shooter game, like kind of Doom style, and it was just like it was kind of interesting. Like the first 5 minutes, you're like, oh, this is kind of different, and then it just got annoying. You're like, oh.
Yeah, so that was a disappointment. But like I said, see if it gave me an option. Like, do you want rhythm controls? Yes or no? Like, no, I don't. I want to just push the button and it whacks. Then I would have loved this game a lot, and it would have been potential game of the year. But the fact that you want me to, there was some good music in it, and they've made some cool choices. Like I love when games do this. Can I talk about that? Yeah, okay. I'm not reviewing that game, so I can't talk about it. Like when Atomic Heart did it, I'll talk about that in a bit as well, where it's like, do you want to enable streamer mode and it puts original songs in instead of like licensed music? I think that's a genius thing that all games that have got licensed music now should do. So it did do that, Hi-Fi Rush. And somebody said that the actual original songs are better than the ones in it. But any soundtrack that's got the Prodigy on it means that was a lie. So
what Prodigy song is it?
It's not
Firestarter.
It wasn't no good for me.
Was it people?
No,
I'll find out.
It wasn't Smack My Bitch Up, but it's one of the more rocky ones and dancey ones. It worked anyway. It was when you would just get into like the sort of reception hall of the laboratories, and it fit really well. And I'm like, this could also work if it allowed you to pick the track for each level.
Okay, it's one of the newer ones. Invaders Must Die, I think.
No, that's an old one. It goes do 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 do.
That's a newer one. I mean, it's not, to be fair, right? It's not new, but like it's not as old as like Charlie Says and all them ones.
No, of course not. But Invaders Must Die is still about 20 years old, mate.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think it's newer than Firestarter and Charlie Says and all them ones.
So it came out in 2009. So
fuck's sake.
How long ago was that? 20? No, it was a while ago anyway.
14 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a new one.
We were in our 20s. We were right in there, mate.
Yeah, Jamie, my flatmate Jamie Moore used to play that all the time. Struan's big brother. Struan liked it as well.
Yeah, good song.
So yes, I believe it was used in a FIFA, an ice hockey game or a basketball game. So yeah, that was Hi-Fi Rush. Like I said, played like a Dreamcast game, but that was nice to. Like it was good enough that I seen it through. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
So there must have been something.
That's
it wasn't
games. That's the reason, mate.
So I
42 games. Sorry, not 52.
Yeah, I played. You're thinking of DC. I played a remaster that's practically a remake. The Metroid Prime remaster that gets shadow dropped at the Nintendo Direct. Now, I've been waiting for this. I've got the trilogy in Wii U, and so many times, like at least once a year ago, I'm just going to get out and play it because this is never coming. I'm just going to get, and I've been saying that for the past 4 years. I just can't believe that they just came out and went, yeah, it exists and it's out now. Like, that was insane. And I was like, it's going to be fucking 60 quid. Nope. 40 quid. Nope. 34.99. I went, that's fucking reasonable. And then see when you see it, it's like, this isn't a remaster. They've changed all the assets. They've upscaled. This is what Metroid Prime 4 is going to look like. Every review I've seen for it, because I don't read reviews mostly, but sorry, every YouTuber is basically saying that this is the best looking Switch game they've seen. I don't agree, personally, because Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon 3 exists, but that's a different art style. So if they can, like, I was worried about Metroid Prime 4. Like, are they going to fuck this up? No, they're not. This is what it's going to look like. This is running in Metroid. 100% this is Prime 4 engine. And I've said this before about Prime. They're holding it back till it's the launch window for 4. We've always said that. So Prime 4's gearing up to announce when it's coming out. 100% it is. And it will be The Last of Us for the Switch. Because I think next year we're going to get Switch 2 announced, or Super Switch, whatever it's going to be. Yeah. Definitely think this is the last hurrah. Like, see that Nintendo Direct? Holy Christmas. It's almost as if Nintendo heard folk were saying they were dying and they went, home a beer. And they went, pow, pow, banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. And I'm like, oh my God, there was like barely any games I didn't want in that Switch Direct. Pikmin 4 aside, but there's fans of Pikmin out there. But after Metroid Prime Remastered, like, I have 100% faith in this retro, because everyone's like, oh, it's not even the same team. They've got some of the same team. They've also hired art directors from Halo and other big projects to join them. And now that I've seen the fruits of the labor, I'm 100% confident that they are going to knock this out. This is going to be easily over 90% game, Metroid Prime 4, when it comes out. It's going to be spot on and perfect. This game is amazing. I understand why a lot of people are saying it's the best game ever, because it's up there with Resi 4 for some people, Ocarina of Time. But for me, Metroid Dread's just perfect. And I don't know if it's because it's the first Metroid that really clicked with me. But the movement, the fluidity, the graphics in that game, like Samus's suit, the eeriness, the atmosphere, the Emmy, everything in that game. Like, I can hear the Emmy in my ear just now beeping. Like, that's how much that game resonated with me. And it was the first properly hard game that I beat, and you beat as well. And it made us feel really good. And it was one of those, yes, I'm not getting that feeling as much with Metroid Prime. Now, you've got to remember, this is nearly a 20-year-old game at this stage. 21-year-old, I think it is. So the fact that it still stands up, and one of the big reasons that it stands up is because when this first came out, this played with one stick to look and aim and everything, because it was in the GameCube, and it had a C stick for everything else. Then it got ported, and it got an HD port for motion controls. So they've added a better option now, which means you can use your Pro Controller or your Joy-Cons attached at the side, or Hori Switch Pad, whatever you may use. And it's perfect, Andy. It plays 60 frames per second, smooth as fucking butter. The thing that made me laugh was one of the guys that worked on the original game was clearly bitter on Twitter. And he complained about the doors, right? And someone pointed out, is that all you did, more or less? This guy sounded like he was the door designer, right? And he's like, they look worse. And somebody said, you've posted a blurry screenshot, and they actually look more in line with the more modern Prime games and the more modern 2D games. So plus it's not your game anymore. Like, this is a whole new game. And then he complained, all of our names should have been in the credits. Why? You didn't make this version. You made the game that this was based on, and they put thanks to all the original staff that worked on the GameCube and Wii versions. Otherwise the credits are going to go on for 3 hours. He just clearly better. It's like, mate, why did you leave? Or did you get fired because that's your attitude? Like, oh, what about me? Like, you didn't do any work and you want credit. I understand there's the big thing. If you work in a project, you should be credited. 100%. I agree with that because you hear it all the time. Voice actors not getting credited. Artists that don't get credited and they're like, we need this for our portfolio. But see, when you did not work on the game at all, you worked on the game that it was based on, and you're like, where's my money?
The only ones I would say that are entitled to that would be maybe the writers.
The narrative designers. You made doors, mate.
The story or anything like that. Like, if
he made the doors.
If you designed the door and they changed the door, it's not your fucking door, mate. Like,
it's not your door anymore, man. Your door sucked.
Like, your door is closed.
It's the fact that he posted. He posted what was quite clearly from the Dolphin emulator because it was HD upscaled, and he posted a blurry screenshot from off screen in the Switch instead of a direct screenshot, and everybody else below him was posting direct screenshots from the game going, this is the new one. Then he wrote that wasn't the end of it. Then he wrote a big, huge thing, not directly saying, but clearly acting better about the praise Metroid Prime Remastered was getting, saying, oh, when we made Metroid Prime in the GameCube, this is all we had to work with, and it was like 24 megabit RAM, this, and this. However, the Switch has blah, 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 and wrote out everything, and it's like, why are you so mad about this game that came out 20 years ago? Like,
it's obviously been a bad breakup between him and his work. At the time, like he's obviously just
So anyway, never mind that guy. If you've not played Metroid Prime, what is going on with this? Do you know what it is? It's not. I'm leaning on something.
He's been struck by lightning. Is what's happening.
I'm leaning on something. If you've never played Metroid Prime, honestly play this game. It's for the money you're paying. The fact that it says remaster kind of puts you off, because see, when I hear remaster, I think of Devil May Cry HD remaster. It's like, that wasn't a remaster. That was a port.
Yep.
This is not a port. This is not a remaster. This is a remake of the game. This is more of a remake than the Last of Us remake is. 100%. Like, they've changed. They've managed to keep the mechanics, the feeling, and the level layout, the design, but they've even in the unlockable extras, you've got original character models in art gallery and remastered versions. And it's like, you've named this wrong, Nintendo. This is a remake of the game. So I've never played it before. I've started it on the Wii several times. I've never touched 2 and 3. The whisper in the wind is because of the success of it. 2 and 3 will definitely be coming out now. And I think it'll be sooner rather than later, because I reckon that they're like, one will suffice, because 2 and 3 get good reviews, but 1 came out at like a 95 and 2 and 3 came out like 70 and 80 or something like that. Like, they're still high rated games. But on OpenCritic, this remaster for like a couple of days was the #1 rated game of all time above Ocarina, which is outstanding. So yeah, absolutely bargain of a game. See all these people saying, "Oh, you want multiplayer for Metroid? You want multiplayer?" It's not a multiplayer game. It's a single player puzzle platformer. What is going on with my computer? It doesn't want me having a green screen. That's what it is.
Do you know that I actually don't mind them putting the word remaster in this, right? Because I actually think this is how a remaster should be done. Like,
100%. All new assets, because they've remastered the assets. They've redone all the models. They've redone the guns. But they've managed to retain the same feel. They've managed to keep whatever element in that code made it feel like Metroid. And it's like, this is one of the best. So I've double dipped. I got it digital because the physical's not out for another few weeks. So I managed to grab it because I did the same for Dread. I was like, I love this game. I need to own it physical. And I've got the physical in Dread. But on it, Dread still, I don't think, unless they do a direct Dread 2 sequel, which I doubt they will, because Metroid never does that. I just love the suit and Dread. Everything, like, it makes me want to play it so much. Like, sometimes I just put it on, just run backwards and forwards, just because the movement, the sliding, everything's so good in that game. Yeah, but however, I was impressed that now that Metroid resonates with me and like it clicks, that when I'm playing it, I'm like, what a fucking mad scientist went first person shooter. Who looked at Metroid and went first person shooter? We're doing exactly this as a first person. They could have mucked it up so easily. So easily you could have messed this up, but they retained everything, because it would be too tempting to turn it into a shooter, to turn it into a multiplayer combat game, because it would just become Halo. But it's like, Metroid's so much more than that. It's explorative. It's like retracing your steps, like getting to new areas, like getting frustrated having to go back through fucking minds. Honestly, man, I bet it's so solid just now. Because I put about 14 hours in now, I think.
Nice.
Just about halfway. I'm really enjoying the game. It's such good. And see people that are like, oh, you can finish in 8-9 hours. Maybe if you've played it before, or you're just great at games. Go you. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I'm not caring about how long it's taken me. The fact that it was $34.99, I'm like, they charged more for Skyward Sword HD. They charged 60 quid for Skyward Sword, and it was fucking. It's just a port. It's just a straight port. They're like, yeah, and we couldn't figure out the fucking motion control, so just use the right stick. It's going to feel okay, we promise. It's like it didn't though, did it? It didn't feel okay. So I'm going to finish that game, but I've decided once I go back to it, like probably next year, because I'm not Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not playing 2 Zeldas 1 year. So once I go back to Skyward Sword, because I was thinking about that a lot this week, I'm going to do the motion controls because it worked fine with motion controls. It does not work really good. But Metroid Remastered, top. Yeah. Like, there was people saying, can this be Game of the Year? Can this just be Game of the Year already? It's that good. I think it's a bit premature to say that because we've got a year of Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2. Like, there's all these big games coming out, and it's like it's going to be fucked when it comes out, but I think Starfield could be. It's a 7.
I think it's going to have problems, right? But like, that's fine. The problems are what makes it fucking fun. Like these glitches and stuff that happen. But like that's the fun.
You can't release the same year as Spider-Man 2 and Tears of the Kingdom and expect Game of the Year because you're not getting it. You can't. I think it'll be Spider-Man.
My Game of the Year.
No, I'm talking about like Game Awards, obviously the ones that matter, not ours. But like
Spider-Man, our awards are the only ones that matter. Thank you very much.
Spider-Man 2 will get that there. It just feels like a Game of the Year game for them. Spider-Man 2 will get it. So yeah, really good. Hi-Fi Rush is definitely going to get a mention in the indie category at the Game Awards as well. So yeah, Metroid Remastered, so much fun, man. Like, and as I was saying, there's different control schemes, and I've been playing on the TV. Looks brilliant for like a 20-year-old game, and it doesn't feel 20 years old. It's so good. Like first-person platforming, that's instantly my brain throws up when I think about it. But it just works in Metroid. It's like it doesn't feel like, well, how was I supposed to see the platform? Because you know what first-person jumping's normal like. In Metroid, if you miss the platform, you know you've mistimed it. You know that it's you. It's same as normal Metroid, and it's just, like I said, so genius that whoever's went first-person shooter, but we're keeping it exact the same. They've somehow managed to a 2D explorative platform game. They've put it into first person, and it works. It's unreal. It's unreal how well it works. And the controllers. Talking about the controllers, I did pre-order the NYXI GameCube split pad, the Nixie, because it looks very much like the Hori split pad. My left thumbstick's about to give up the goat on my Hori that I got the year it came out, so I've had it for like 5 years. It keeps sticking when I click down L3, and I'm like, you're starting to feel like a PS2 pad now at this point. So I pre-ordered that, but I only managed to get the second wave because once they gave out some to journalists and the reviews went out, and they're like, this is a pretty fucking good controller. So what this is, for those that don't know, is it's like a Hori split pad, but each side, each Joy-Con looks like the GameCube pad. But unlike the Hori split pad, what they've got is the middle bit, and you can slot the Joy-Cons on and use it as a controller. Like if you've got your Switch on the stand, or if you've got it on the TV dock mode, you could just plug out and you've got a basically GameCube controller. That's genius to me. That's given me the best of both worlds, because occasionally, I will play on the TV, and occasionally Lexi does like to play with the stand, and she likes to have a controller when it's with the stand rather than the two Joy-Cons in each hand. So instead of switching backwards and forwards, it's going to be a case of bump. I can't wait for it to come, but I'll cover that once it arrives. So also during the Nintendo Direct, they made Nintendo Online 100 times more essential. They out of nowhere went, yeah, you're getting Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. It's almost like Nintendo went, see all the good stuff, just give it to them. It's been a tough few years for everybody. So yeah, we've got Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. And there has been some news this week that they are going to be doing transfer pack compatibility, and people are excited because we've got a Pokemon Direct this week or next. And to me, I'm not excited about transferring Pokemon to Andy and Red and Blue. I've played those games. What I'm excited about is the transfer pack compatibility with the upcoming Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, because the Game Boy version had a robust and superb RPG revolving around golf or tennis. And then what you could do, Andy,
you're right, yeah.
You could transfer your character into the N64 version. Once you'd completed it, you would get some bonuses, and you could do tournaments and the campaign mode with your character from Mario Golf from the Game Boy. I cannot wait to do that. And if it's got online multiplayer, that's going to be our game of the summer if they manage to time it right. Honestly, I will be, because see, just the idea of leveling up my guy, doing my career mode, doing my RPG on the golf, and then, okay, I'm going to transfer my guy into the tennis and take on Andy online in glorious 3D. That's the future I dreamed of when I was a kid, that they stripped away from me when nobody decided to follow up with the VMUs and stuff like that. So I just love that idea. And also I'm going to restart another game, Andy, because part of the Game Boy stuff, they announced Metroid Fusion is on the way. And that's one of the ones I finished. It was Metroid 4, the one that came before Dread. And I've played bits of it in the Wii U, and I really liked it. And I just get fed up having to pack away my Wii U because my Series X and PS5 take up behind the TV. So having it on the Switch and having it handheld, I'll also say this, they've done a superb job. They could have just went emulator, boom, go. These games look fucking incredible. Like the Game Boy games. The music sounds spot on. I played a bit of what is Zelda do? Minish Cap. That music and the sound is absolutely awesome. You're not getting any Game Boy tinniness. You're not getting any like crackliness, nothing like that. You can also put filters on so it looks like the Pocket, the original green and black Game Boy, or the color. So they said they only gave us 2 systems. They gave us 3 because there are Game Boy Color exclusive games that can't run on the Game Boy. So we got 3 systems, and like I think Game Boy Advance is only for us top tier Nintendo dudes, top club, and like now it's worth it to me. Like even with the N64, I was playing those games going, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's all right.
You play it for 5 minutes and you're like,
it's all right. But now they've got Game Boy games. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is good.
Designed specifically to play on handheld.
Yep.
Like most of the time we play Switch and handheld, so perfect.
I would say I'm about 80-20 and Andy's about 100% handheld.
Yeah. I'm 100% for at least 6 years now. I don't think I've plugged my Switch in the dock for 6 years now. But like, see with the Game Boy games, like they're absolutely perfect for playing handheld. So you can play Tetris.
They do look good on the big screen though.
And they look, I don't think they do, but like, you can play Tetris for 10 minutes before you go to bed. It's perfect for that. I don't like Tetris. I actually don't like Tetris that much.
I love Tetris.
Oh, you're totally right. I actually don't like Tetris that much. I prefer columns, but Tetris.
Yeah, yeah, right. I prefer Mean Bean Machine, but
Mean Bean Machine is very good.
But that's Puyo Puyo, so it's
But
I wish they'd put Tetris DX on because
the color one,
I love that version. I just really liked how the blocks look.
I think they will.
It came with my Game Boy Color. What would make sense is, in 10 days when the movie... No, sorry, it's ending next month. When the movie comes out, give us Tetris DX.
Oh, it's a TV show?
It's a movie.
It's a TV show?
It's a movie.
Right. I thought
it was meant to be a trilogy.
Right.
No, it's Apple TV do movies as well.
Okay.
They've done Tom Hanks ones, Will Smith ones. This is Taron Egerton. And you might think, Tetris movie, we joked about it in the past. What are they going to do? Like aliens, whatever it is. They've done a smart thing with it. They've made it almost a documentary because they're like the story behind Tetris of how the guy went in and spoiler alert, he bumped the guy, basically got him to sign a contract that said that you will receive $500,000, which at the time was a fortune, and you will also receive payments from any computer sale of Tetris.
Okay.
He then got the final draft of the contract, because you have the initial one that they agreed to it and it shows intention. You give it to the lawyer and the lawyer drafts up. The lawyer put in the final one defined a computer as anything with a mouse and keyboard. So all console sales for Tetris never went to the man that invented it. He died poor.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
It was a sneaky fucking thing to do. And the crazy thing is, Tetris was in a lot more than just the Game Boy, but everyone relates that to the Game Boy. And I love that moment in the trailer where they're like, there's only 2 or 3 people in the world that know this exists, the Game Boy. And he's like, I can get you Tetris on it. And he's like, how? Because it was Soviet Union property at the time, because the man invented it. And back then it was like, if you made it in Russia, it's Russia's. And and the guy has to get the code out of Russia. And
yeah, it looks like a really fun show. That actually, like, you wouldn't expect it to be, but like, movie. Yeah, you wouldn't expect it to be, but watch the trailer It looks fucking great. It looks fucking great.
It does. It generally does. And we've got Mario coming up within the next month or two. In fact, it's May for Mario, actually.
Yeah.
So also I got Hogwarts Legacy. I've got no interest in Harry Potter. I've tried one of the movies with Lexi. Whatever. It's exactly what I thought it would be. And like when I was a kid, I read some of the books. But this came out, and do you remember me saying about a year ago, I hope that this has got haptics because Demon's Souls is amazing because of the haptics and the feeling of the spells.
Yep.
It does. And that's all I cared about. I'm like, it's not about Harry Potter. It's about your character. It's hundreds of years before he was even born. But like, the game is, if you take Fable, like kind of atmosphere and stuff and feel of the world and things like that, some of the creatures look kind of Fable-ish. And then you take Bully, the game at the school, and you smash them together. That's what you've got here. Smash. And the school's bloody massive in it, right? And yes, ray tracing mode sucks. So does the other performance mode. I don't know how many times I have to say it in this show. Just swap to performance mode. Never not go to performance mode. 60 frames makes a difference because this game is one of those that is quite ambitious. And it's by a studio whose last games were Cars 3 and Disney Infinity. This is the game that is their Batman Arkham Asylum. I think I said that to you as well, Andy. This is like, because before Arkham Asylum, it was playing that Rocksteady game. You'd say, who's Rocksteady? See, after Arkham Asylum, everyone knew who Rocksteady were. This is going to be that company's, I don't know the name of them, fair enough, but this is as big as that for them. It's impressive. Number one selling game in this country for like the past 2 months now. No wonder. And I get it. But as I pointed out to my cousin, it's not the biggest thing in the world. Like, Star Wars is like a bigger franchise than it. Like, if you check them, Hello Kitty's bigger, Pokemon's bigger. Yeah. But I get it. People love it. And I know I'm not going to talk about it, but there's a lot of controversy behind this game. But I'm doing this kind of unbiased, like, because I have no dog in the fight. I don't care about Harry Potter. I just wanted to play the game, and yeah, it's fun. It's actually quite fun. I'm maybe about level 21. My biggest worry was that it was going to be kind of like the original ones were kind of like kiddie. They were kind of like children's games, and I thought this was going to be a kids game in disguise. I was real like, I'm not going to like this. So
it's because at the time the books were marketed towards children, like young
kids books,
young children, young children and teens, and obviously like as they grew up, the books became more kind of adult, and now they're targeting it towards people that grew up with the books, and it's an adult audience basically.
Yeah, which is fine. But like I'm playing it on just like normal. I don't know anything about history of Harry Potter. He goes to this big school that's a castle, and it's absolutely giant area. Like there's basements and side corridors and passages, and there's the grounds you can fly about in your wee broom, and like there's. I can't even remember the name of it. This is what I mean. I would never talk about Harry Potter because I don't know the name of stuff. But like you can go to the wee village, and there's a sweet shop with stuff flying about, and you can buy like your upgrades and things there, and talk to characters, and you can get side quests. You've always got quests going on, and I'm like, this is giant. That's just the school in the village. And then after about like mission 3, it's like, okay, press L2 to see the world map, and I'm like, okay, I've seen it. This thing is almost like Elden Ring, the way it's like, here's your map. And then it's like, bump. It's not as big as Elden Ring, like, I can't say that, but it's for the detail that's in the school and how big the school area is. They could have set the entire game in the school and I'd have been fine with it. I wouldn't have batted an eyelid if I could only just walk to the village and back. They've got fucking forests, they've got caves, they've got valleys, they've got another village, they've got settlements down the bottom and everything. I'm like, I thought Harry Potter was just a thing about school and a wee boy that lived in a cupboard. Like, it's fucking massive. So it's quite cool that way. You can fly in your broom anywhere. And you can get animals. Don't know what they're called, but you can get animals to fly on as well. And you can get like pet kind of Pokemon things as well and raise them. You can go out and catch them. And it's not a Pokeball, obviously, but it's like this bag that sucks in. You go and try and grab these animals. So that's quite fun to me. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. Like the voice acting's solid. Simon Pegg plays the head teacher in it. And like it's a really solid game. So okay, I'm not saying either side of the fight's unjustified, but I feel sorry for the developers of the actual game who just paid for a license that got the stick for it. I'm not saying the hate for it was undeserved to certain people, but the developers, I don't think I don't know them. Maybe they're dickheads too. Who knows? But like, I think the game's good. Like, see, at some point in this life, you've got to accept things are made hideously. Like, Children's Blood probably made this. I know where my iPhone came from. I've seen the mines. Like, you've got to sometimes just ignorance is bliss. Sometimes, as they say. So yeah, Hogwarts is good, really good. And this is from somebody that's not a fan. See, my cousin who's playing it, who grew up, he was a bit younger than us and got right into Harry Potter. He's fucking blown away by it. He's like, it's one of the best games I've ever played. And from the guy that I know that works up at Spar near me, remember Faz that used to work at Games Center? He now works up at the shop. He said that it's like the equivalent of, like, if you could imagine the best Star Wars game ever, this is the Harry Potter's fan game of that, like Knights of the Old Republic or something. And I'm like, you can tell a lot of love and care has been put into this. And I don't get any reference, but they've made a solid enough game. There's like palette challenges and puzzles, and some of my favorite one, like your guy can see what's called ancient magic, which is like, I don't really know what it does. I'm just playing the game, right? So like it does something Harry Potterish, right? You've got these portals that, depending what way you look through them, the room's different. Kind of like Portal the game, but it's not Portal the game. And you've kind of got to manipulate objects with your Pulio, whatever. I don't know the names of the spells either, but you're like Pulliramus and pull stuff towards you, shove you away, and the stuff goes away. And like, or Getty Uppy for the up one. And like, you have to do things like move platforms about like that by viewing the room different ways, because you might look through it one way and there's no platform. And you're like, how the fuck did I get across there? But if you look through it at a certain angle, you're like, I can see the platform now. I need to pull that through. All really cool. And like I said, I did not expect that. So I would say it is for an older audience. I don't think it's overly mature feeling. There's no, like, you can't like kill. Well, I don't know if you can kill folk. I've definitely messed some people up. Like, I've definitely done that.
There is a killing cost in Harry Potter. So if you've got that spell, then you should be able to kill people.
There's one in this you can kill folk, but I haven't got it yet. But really enjoyable. The bosses as well. There's some kind of puzzle elements to some of them as well. Like, for example, I fought a giant knight. Like, I don't know why I had to do that. I said giant already. And he had this, like, again, I don't know Harry Potter, I never will. They got a magic orb thing when he saw. He throws it at you. Big area of effect attack. But it changes colour, so the only way to get rid of it is to swap spells, because, like, your fucky offy spells, whatever it's called, that is red. So if the orb's red, that'll destroy it. And if your floaty spell, if the orb's yellow, you can get rid of it that way. So you have to kind of move on the fly. You've got like on your D-pad, you've got like 4 different slots for 4 different spells. So you can swap between palettes. So you can have one that's for just like exploring, like that will help you explore. You can have a set that's for like fighting, and you can have a set that's for defense and stuff like that, and swap between them on the fly. Really good, man. And I did not expect it. The reason I bought it in physical is not because of my collectors, because I thought I'm probably going to trade this one a week, because I thought it was going to be a shitty, half-ass made kids game, because they didn't even give it the name Harry Potter. But I'm glad they didn't, because it's a quality game. I don't need to fucking watch a specky wee wizard zoom about. Oh. Anyway, moving on. Played a couple more games. But Andy's not really said much in the past hour. So, Andy, hit us with a couple of things you've been up to.
Yeah, I mean, I've not played a massive amount, but I've dabbled in some stuff. So, I've checked out a bit. I mean, I've probably played more than I think I have, but I did check out the Netflix original game, Valiant Hearts. I can't remember what it's called. Like Homecoming, I think it's called. I checked that out on my phone. I don't like playing games on my phone. I fucking hate it. It's still got nice art style and everything like that, but it's a basic kind of puzzle platformer, and I hate playing these games on my phone. Like, if I could play this on Switch, that would be perfect. That's the exact place I would love to play it. But obviously Netflix not on Switch, so I don't know if you know this, right? Because I've never really tried a Netflix game before. But can you play the Netflix game on your console?
Depends. Because Apple TV obviously plays games, so does my Google TV.
Yeah.
neither of them would allow me to install the Netflix game. So I don't know because I haven't tried because it's a fucking Netflix. I don't want to play mobile games on my telly.
I'm gonna guess it's probably a no then actually, because now I think of it, the way that it works is you go into
you go into the App Store.
Well, yeah, it takes you straight into the App Store or the Play Store.
Because I always wondered how it would work. I'm like, how can I play this through Netflix? Are they streaming it to me? Like, how's it going to work? But no, it opens up the Google Play or the Apple App Store.
You just download it, yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to play it on console, so I'm stuck playing it on the phone. Which
while you're doing it though, like there is a game that I wanted you to try, and I've got an extra thing for our challenge that I wanted to speak about at the end of this.
Another challenge! Oh my god!
Yeah. Well, it's an extension, but like there's a game on Netflix that I really wanted to try, and you control the whole thing with your eyes. It's a phone. It's made for phones. Okay. I think you can get it Steam now, but you control it with your eyes. And I thought if we tried that out for the next show we do, be it next week or the week after, give it a go. I'll find the name and send it to you.
But... Yeah, send it to me. That's preferable though, because then like the problem I find with this game is like because you're playing on the phone, your fingers are on the phone screen. So
that's where you should have got your Razer Kishi like I do, so it looks like a Switch. Because I've got my Samsung up the stairs and I've got my Xbox controller on the side.
I mean, my problem is like my phone doesn't fit in half of those fucking things.
Problem is you're tight.
Because it's too big. No, my phone is physically too big to fit into those things.
What do you mean physically too big? It's the same size as your Xbox pad. Do you use a dance mat? Do you just sit and hold a dance mat? You've got that big hands.
No, I mean, you know those like see the Razer Kishi and stuff like that. They only go up to like a certain size of phone. They don't take this phone.
The Note, is it the 10 Plus I've got? Yeah, that was the last one that it fit.
Yeah. So like smaller phones, they'll fit it no bother.
That's a you problem.
These bigger phones, they don't fit it. So I need a big phone. I like having the big phone.
Don't fit it. They don't fit it by about that. But do you know what does fit it? Yeah. Backbone. You can get the PlayStation controller when Backbone fits it. Backbone.
I don't like that one though.
I do because it looks like a PlayStation 4 controller.
But I mean, I might look into that, but I don't know that I would necessarily buy.
You wouldn't use it unless you were streaming your console.
Exactly. Like, I don't know if I necessarily buy something like that just to play one game because it's the only Netflix game that I'm particularly interested in. You know.
Well, you might play other games though because there's ways of emulating things on using an emulator. Like you could.
Sure, that's true. Like it tend to be the only games that I like playing on phone or like interface type games where it's like the phone is like an interface. Like things like The Room. Or where you're manipulating things around.
The difference is The Room is out on other platforms now, but it was designed for the phone. The game you're playing was bought by Netflix and forced on the phone. Netflix, what they do with these games is a bit like Apple Arcade. They buy exclusivity for 6 months to a year for the service, and then it goes elsewhere. Like Oceanhorn 2, remember that Zelda clone?
Yeah.
It was Apple TV exclusive, remember, or Apple Arcade, but you can get it Switch now. So what's happened there is Ubisoft's made it. They're in a bit of a pickle. Netflix have went, oh, we'll give you this. And they're like, you're going to pay that. Okay, you guys can have it. Yep, sure. And then they're like, that's going to buy us extra development time to make the console port better.
So yeah, I mean, you're probably right. And it probably will come to console. So I'm most likely I'll just wait and play it on console because I'd much rather play it like on a console than fucking on my phone. My fingers on the screen, like getting in the way of the nice artwork. Because the artwork's lovely and it looks great. But I just hate this.
Is it the hand drawn or is it the kind of comic style? Or
it's that kind of like hand drawn, sort of like comic style, and like you'd have seen it back in the day, like because it was when remember Child of Light and Valiant Hearts.
Yeah, I remember it came out during the arty season, as I call it, and like this year though is Year of the Heart because like last year was Year of the West because every game ended in West, like Evil West, like whatever. I can't remember the rest, but
Horizon
this year. But no, there's other West as well. There was like Forgotten West, there was Evil West, something else West. this year's Hearts, because we've had Atomic Hearts, we've got Wild Hearts, like there's another game coming out with Hearts as well.
But yeah, I like I say, the game looks fine and it's a basic puzzle platformer so far, but I can't play it on a phone. I will probably wait and play it on a console when it comes to that eventually. Aside from that, I played through and finished Ori and the Blind Forest. So this is one that I thought would be relatively straightforward. And I've been meaning to play it for ages, and I did play a bit of it before the original version of it, but they put out a new definitive edition version of it for Series X, which is graphics and whatnot. So I was like, well, I'll just start again. I'll play that one because I can't remember any of the mechanics or anything anyway. Because I played it like when I first got my Xbox One, like however long ago that was, like 2015 maybe. So like 8 years ago. And
it wasn't 2015. It was like, yeah, no, you're right, because we got ours the year after PS4, didn't we?
Yeah, because I got mine when Rise of the Tomb Raider came out, and like I got Ori with it, like it was like a bundle.
So 2015, 2016, round about then, because
Yeah,
I remember getting one because we had the PS4 day one. I didn't go for the Xbox this time round, and then everybody at the Tudor that I worked at had an Xbox One. I was like, I need to get an Xbox as well. Yeah,
but yeah, like so I went back to playing this Definitive Edition, and like the first couple of hours of it, I'm like, this game's fucking amazing, really enjoying it, like great platforming, and it's got that kind of like little bit of Metroidvania sort of stuff going on it, and they kept building on the mechanics, and it was nice, slow introductions and stuff. And then I got to that point, and I was like, I cannot work out what to do here, and like, because it just introduced me to a new mechanic, and usually, like, when you've been introduced to a new mechanic, usually you need to use that mechanic, like, to get through the bit you're stuck at. And I'm like, this is just not working. And then what it ended up being is that I had to use like a mechanic I'd learned 2 or 3 mechanics ago, and then use the new mechanic. And I'm like,
yeah, see, even Metroidvania style games do that sort of thing, and it's like you just said, like, say you get the rockets in Metroid, and it's like, oh, good, I use this in the door, and you're like, it makes you so confused because every time you get a new one, for some reason, my brain goes, right, we don't need the old ones anymore, but you do, you still need to use them sometimes. It's funny.
And I wouldn't mind it if it was like the way that Metroid kind of does it, but the way they do it in this one, it's like they stack all of those mechanics on top of each other. So, and there's some really challenging like puzzle platforming parts in the game where you're like jumping down and scooting around and having to do like wall jumps and stuff, and they have to do it really fast. And there's parts where you have to use enemies' projectiles to like sort of jump off of. So like, you can press, I think it's Y, press Y, and it sort of slows down time, and then you push the direction and then let go, and it fires you up in that direction. But what it also does is it fires the enemy projectile opposite from you. So like if you're going up, the projectile goes down. And the problem with that is that if you accidentally kill the enemy that's firing the projectiles that you need to get further up, then you have to start again, which is super annoying. So like things like that, but yeah, stacking all those abilities on top of each other made the game really difficult for me, because like you honestly felt like I was playing so fast, like because you're using all the buttons all the time, like doing super fast wall jumps and doing these like enemy jumps and normal jumps and firing these projectiles and stuff. And yeah, this was really fucking difficult. Like I died over 400 times, like completing this game. Over 400 times. Which is ridiculous. And I played it on easy, and I'm like, there's no fucking way this is still on easy. Something's happened here and it's jumped to hard. No, still on easy. I think what the difficulty only seems to control is the enemies. But the enemies are not really the problem in the game. It's the platforming that's hard. It doesn't make the platforming any easier. So I don't think their difficulty is kind of like a fake difficulty, really. Because I think if I had played it on hard, it would have made no difference. Because it was the platforming I struggled with, not the enemies. But yeah, I did like the game overall. I wish that those platform bits hadn't been quite so hard and annoying. Because you've got like a save mechanic in the game where you can create a save point anywhere apart from where there's danger, basically. So like if there's a big enemy nearby, you can't create a save point in that area. But you're limited in how many save points you can create. Based on, and you can only create one at a time. So like you create one and then go along a bit, create another one, the old one goes away. But you have to have like these energy balls to create it. And obviously each time you use a save point, it uses up an energy ball. And you have to sort of collect these by like smashing things in the environment, which are quite scarce. So there's not that many of them around. So if you come across one and then you hit like a difficult platforming area, you're like, get through it, right, cool, finally got through it, I'll create a save point here, and then you do a bit more and it's even harder, and you can't create another save point once you get past that. So then you're doing like 2 or 3 sections and you can't make a save, so you're having to redo these bits over and over again, which is quite frustrating at times. But like the game is good overall. I wouldn't recommend it if you get frustrated easily. So and also I wouldn't recommend it for this type of challenge that we're doing, because it took me a lot longer to complete than I thought. I think it was about 10 hours altogether for me to beat it. And like I didn't go through and 100% or anything like that, just beating the game, seeing the credits, that was fine. So I'm going to wait a good wee while before I do the sequel. And hopefully the sequel would fix some of the issues that I had with it, but I mean, you don't know. So yeah, it was a very nice looking game, and the first couple of hours was fucking amazing, and then after that it gets really difficult. What else did I play apart from that? I played the game that you've been playing. I played that today. So I'll chime on Atomic Hearts. Atomic Hearts. Sorry, I'll chime in on that when we talk about that. I've been playing more Power Wash Simulator. Like, I like that game. It's very therapeutic, but it's very sleepy. Like, if you're tired when you play that game, you fall asleep. Like, 100%. It's one of the few games I think I've fallen asleep playing. I cannot hear you if you're talking. You are muted. Yeah, he's muted. Power Wash has got some DLC coming to it soon. I did try the Tomb Raider DLC, but I actually didn't like that one because I don't know if you tried it yet, right? But what they did is they gave you the Tomb Raider mansion, like Lara Croft mansion, which you go in and you're like, oh, cool, there's the dirty mansion, I have to clean it. Same way as you do with any Power Wash level. But what I didn't like about the mansion is that it's fucking huge, right? Which is fine because all these big buildings are enormous. But this one, the front of the mansion is fucking disgusting, dirty, and you have to like wash it off. But the roof is fine, and like you're just cleaning the fascia of the building, so you're not actually cleaning the building. You're just cleaning like the face of it and like the fountains and stuff like that, which kind of sucks because in every other one, when you're like when you're cleaning a building, you're cleaning like right around the whole building, so you explore all around it, find all the nooks and crannies, get like all the soap and shit in, and clean it off. Like, and it's cool. But this one, like, for some reason, it doesn't make sense to me. The roof is fucking clean, and like the rest of the building you can see behind, all of that's clean. But the front of the building is just covered in like disgusting dirt and soot and grime and muck and graffiti and all sorts of shit. So, it's a strange one. But the Final Fantasy DLC is coming out as well, and that's free as well for some reason. You know, like I would have actually bought that DLC, because I've put enough time into Power Wash that like I feel like I should support the developer. So if they're putting out something that I'm like, yes, I fucking love Final Fantasy.
What's with the Square tie-in? Like, I reviewed this game and I liked it, but did Square publish it or something?
I think Square published it. Yeah, I think that's right.
Do you get to clean Tifa?
No, like you get to clean Tifa's bar.
Yeah.
There's no real people in.
Can you wash the butler in Tomb Raider?
No, he's not there. You can't go inside. There's none internal now. It's just the front facing in the building that you clean. But like the Final Fantasy,
that's a missed opportunity. They could have rendered the whole.
Yeah, they could have missed. Like they could have just rendered the whole building. You know, like being fine.
PlayStation 1 could render it. I'm pretty sure you
exactly.
could do like
Well, I mean, the whole building is rendered, but like just like only the front facing of it is dirty for some reason. The roof is spotless. You're like, all right, okay. I don't understand why, but and the Final Fantasy DLC is you clean Cloud's bike and Tifa's bar and the guard scorpion, like the first big boss in the game. I'm not interested in cleaning the guard scorpion, to be fair, but like cleaning the bike and cleaning the bar, that's kind of cool. It looks like you clean the inside of the bar as well, so I'm kind of down for that.
Small bar.
It's a small bar, but maybe we'll get to go to the secret basement. Like that would be cool. Like after you clean the top level, it's like aha, basement.
Yeah,
like
someone comes up, like nice. Big wedge comes up and says, "Now clean downstairs."
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be fucking cool. But I don't know. I'll play that when it comes out. I don't know that I've played anything else apart from Atomic Heart. Like nothing. Did
I? Cool. You didn't play much for at least a week because you were mobbed at work.
Yeah, let me just consult my list. No, because I talked about both of them. I still haven't played Final Fantasy 8, but like I think I'm still on disc 2. I've not made that much progress with that, although I've got to Galbadia Garden now, which is like the Battle of the Garden sort of thing, which is the really cool scene where you're in Balam Garden and the Galbadians have sort of started invading, and you have to fight against the guy, and it's like a quick time event, and then you have to pull a handle on a door and you get sucked out, and it takes you into like you're fighting the guy using like just pressing square to punch and circle to kick and X to block, and it's just you're flying over doing this QTE while there's a cutscene happening in the background with a massive fucking battle. Like I always loved that, and like it looks cool playing it on the Switch. Like yes, it still looks fucking great. Yeah, that's about as far as I've got. I think I'm just about to fight Cerberus. You know, the 3-headed dog, and
oh yeah,
once you beat him, he becomes a GF for you, and basically, when you cast him, he casts him.
He was a tough fight. I remember.
Yeah, so I'm about to fight him. I fought Diablo. Like you get the magical lamp at the beginning of the game. You can fight
that one's tough too.
Yeah, it depends what level you fight him at. Like I think
because it scales with you, doesn't it?
Yeah, at the low levels it's really, really difficult, and then if you get the high levels, it's really, really difficult. But like the kind of level that I fought him at was relatively straightforward. But I think I'm leveled enough to fight Cerberus, so that's kind of my next thing to do in that game. I forgot. Do you know I forgot about that game? Like when you get to Galbadia Garden, there's like a couple of bits you have to go through to like get to where the bosses and stuff are. And there's one level you have to run through, and it's like it's an ice rink, but it's like, and you have to fight ice hockey players.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you have to fight ice hockey players. Like I don't know why, but every time you run, it's the only area that they appear in. Like in the game, I think is like this one screen where
some people talking about making an ice hockey game, and they went, "Do you know what? You're fired, but we might as well make use of it. Put it in the game."
Yeah, it might have been, yeah, but it's strange because you're like, why are the ice hockey players fighting me? Because like everyone else I'm fighting is either like a monster or like a soldier, but these are just guys fucking playing ice hockey because they've got like a full kit on and they've got the stick and the skates around. You're like, all right, okay. It's weird. But yeah, I love that game. It's fucking good, man. I actually bought it as well, like original PS1. See. Because I was enjoying it so much.
It's not original though. It's not original.
Well, I mean, I had the platinum version as well, so I had both versions at one point. So I'm like, yep, I'll have this one. This will do me.
Like, see, as much as I was moaning because these hear better, they're actually really uncomfortable in your ears for like a long length of time. Whereas the ones that I used to go to bed now, like Tasha, she was clearing out and she got a Samsung Buds with her phone like at the start of the year, and she's like, I don't really want these. No, I'll have them because falling asleep with these is annoying because it's like.
Yep.
Whereas if I fall asleep with my buds, like I only wear one. It'll either fall out or it will still be there.
Do you sleep on your back then?
No, I fucking hang upside down. Of course, I sleep on my back.
No, because like I always sleep on my side, so I couldn't wear headphones. Like
sorry, you're right. I do sleep on my side sometimes, but I'll put in. See if I'm on this side, I'll put that ear in, and see if I want to sleep on that side, I'll put the other because you only need one bud in at a time.
Yeah. But I mean, even the buds, like they wouldn't affect you too much because like.
No, they don't. But see, you can't sleep in your. I can't sleep on my side with this because it's sore. No. Yeah. So that's why the buds are perfect. Because like, say I'm sleeping on this side, I'll put that bud in and I'll just. Sleep.
Yeah, I just put the TV on, mate.
Well, we don't have a television. I'm set up. And Tasha always, she's friends on anyway on her tablet next to her bed. So I'm like, I'm not having like dueling tablets competing. So I need my headphones on because I like listening to stuff. Tasha puts friends on and then just goes to sleep. But then if I get up and put friends off, she's like, put it back on. I'm like, you're fucking just snoring.
See, what we do is like I'll put on whatever show that I want to watch to go to sleep, and then when I fall asleep, Ashley puts off like whatever show I'm watching. Like just now, It's Always Sunny, and she doesn't like Always Sunny. Well, she doesn't like it. She doesn't mind it, but like she doesn't really like to watch it. So like as soon as I'm sleeping, she's like, "Are you sleeping?" And then she puts it off and puts on like fucking Still Game. But I can't go to sleep to Still Game because it's Scottish.
No, because it's too funny and it's Scottish.
Well, I mean, it's funny. Like I've seen it so many times, but like it is still funny. But I can't physically go to sleep when there's Scottish people talking in the room. Like once I'm already
in case you wake up with like stuff painted in your face from.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I remember Gordy woke up at mine one day and he was half painted Spider-Man with nail polish. It was really well detailed. Because he fell asleep like that and you couldn't see this. So it was literally like Two-Face from Batman, the split, because like Tasha's brother and her cousin, like Michael and Luca, they drew it and they drew like the web and everything in the eyes. And Gordy woke up raging.
Nice.
So red.
I did play a couple of things just to mention briefly. So I played a little bit of Yakuza 0.
Because the new one of that's out. Sorry, before you go on.
Yeah,
I'm kind of.
No, not
I'm interested.
Ishin.
And the reason I'm interested is because I've seen some clips now, and I just assumed it was going to be a Warriors. It's not a Warriors game. It's just it's made by the Yakuza team, but it's set in samurai time. Mm. And what they did was it's not related to them, but they've used the characters like what's his name, Kazuya, whatever the guy's name is, Kiryu.
Yeah, Kiryu.
He's one of the samurai in it, but it's not Kiryu. And the guy, whatever his name is with the eye patch, Magini, he's one of the samurai too. And I'm like, okay. And then I seen a wackiness where he like threw a tiger at a guy, and the tiger started attacking. And I'm like, and then there was a fight in a bathhouse where they were like doing this to each other and stuff. And I'm like, this could actually still be all right. And there's a demo out of it, so I might try the demo. But I hate demos these days for some reason. I just want the full game. The only time I'll play a demo is if it's the full version that carries on. However, I've got a problem with that with one of my other games I played.
Okay. So yeah, I tried Yakuza 0. I actually got past. I got past the part I was stuck at before, which was like you'd go into like an office building and you'd have to fight a bunch of guys and stuff. And what I realized was I hadn't done any.
Is that the ones where they jump in the windows and everything?
Yeah. So like
I've done it ages ago.
Yeah, I mean it was real near the beginning, but like I got stuck at it. I tried it 2 or 3 times and couldn't do it. Just kind of gave up. This is before we played like a dragon and stuff. But obviously now I've played like a dragon. I'm more kind of like interested in the world because I've got a bit of a taste for it. I played Judgment as well. So this one I'm playing it now and I'm like, okay, like I kind of recognize like not necessarily these specific characters, but I recognize like some of the Yakuza gangs and like what the kind of world that's happening here. I'm like, this is kind of interesting, and I realized that I hadn't done any upgrades. And then obviously you spend money to do your upgrades, and you get like different like extra powers and like better health and stuff. And as soon as I did that, I got through it okay. So I'm like, okay, well, clearly I just didn't like pay attention to whatever to the upgrade mechanics at all. Now that I've done that, that's cool. I'm absolutely fine with that, and I can now crack on with the game. But yeah, so I'm enjoying that. Like, but I'm gonna be chipping away at that probably quite slowly. I've not played it for like a week or 2 at this point. Like, but I had played it like a good bit before that. I've tried Monster Hunter Rise with Mark and Ian, and there was a lot of tutorial stuff at the beginning of the game, and I'm like, this is a lot of fucking reading when you're trying to play a multiplayer game, which is quite annoying. So you're reading through all this and like learning how the mechanics work and everything. And I don't mind the way that the mechanics work, but I don't think the game feels active enough. Like it feels like an MMO. Like I don't know if you felt that, but it kind of feels like an MMO. And even so much as like you're going in and doing like the missions that it's asking you to do, and it's like, kill this monster. Okay, right, cool. We beat the monster eventually. The monsters are fucking annoying, I found, because every time you go in, it's like, right, you need to kill a monster. Cool. So there's like the little monster you can kill, that's fine. And there's the big monster. So you find him, you attack him, and then he fucking flies away or he runs away. Yeah. And then you need to go and find him in the other part of the map and then fight him again, and then he runs away again. And this happens like 5 or 6 times before he eventually dies.
But you can hook on the side and ride him like a horse.
Yeah, you can do that. And like I did enjoy that you could like get another monster and sort of like use them to fight him. That was cool. I found that was the only way to beat them in any sort of quick way at all. If you managed to get to fight another monster, otherwise it takes fucking forever. Which
it's not the only quick way.
Well, probably not, right?
A lot of crafting.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, right? But like, I think that the mistake that this game makes for me getting into it as like a person that doesn't play Monster Hunter. I think it's definitely a mistake in game design is that they should give you these early ones and like let you beat them relatively quickly, so that you're like engaged in the loop of like getting the loot and going and upgrading and then going back in and killing more ones, and then like give you these bullet sponge ones later on as like harder bosses. Fair enough, but like it just every single one took like at least 40 minutes to beat, and like
that's the whole point. Monster Hunter.
That's just a fucking slog. Like I don't want to do that. Like I want quick, fun action to begin with, and then like once I'm into it, then I'm like, yes, cool, right, here we go. Like this one's going to take a lot longer. That's fine. I like this game, but hitting you with that straight away, no, that's not the way to get people addicted to this.
Because I obviously hadn't played, I hadn't even played World when everybody got into it because everyone went daft for World when it came out. That's why I was so surprised that Nintendo paid for Rise to be an exclusive, because it's the sequel. And like it was 2 years ago I played it on the Switch, and Fraser was like, "Oh, let's play it, and we'll do the co-op." And I'm not playing it again. I finished it. Sunbreak I have to start. He goes, "Oh, can I play that?" I went, "No, Sunbreak isn't out for consoles and PC yet. It'll probably be next year or 6 months or whatever." But like I said, I'm not starting again because I've put so much time into Monster Hunter, as you know. I put 40, 50, 60, maybe more hours. and I beat all the boss. I completed the story. I've done the last boss. I was going and dipping in and doing extra bosses. So it's weird that it resonated for me so well and you just didn't like it, because it's actually designed for newcomers. This, because I went back and played World, and I went, don't play World then, man. You'll hate World's worse. World's like, it's not friendly at all. It doesn't welcome newcomers. The entire series doesn't welcome newcomers. It's like, here's how to do it. We're not changing shit for anyone. This is the game.
I didn't mind like some aspects of it, like the loot stuff was kind of cool, and like the way you kind of party up and stuff like that was fine. And like the world seems interesting. Like they set that up, the whole thing with that like kind of rush of like the big monsters running around, and you're like, okay, cool. But yeah, I just didn't like the kind of the fact that it took so long to do anything, like to do a fight. Like outside of the fight, like pretty much everything, I'm like, okay, I can deal with this, but the fight is just fucking way too long. I do think that I would prefer playing it on Switch, but
Switch game, like even when I seen it on Xbox, I went, this looks okay, but I mean, it looks better on Switch because you're like, oh, cool, the Switch is running this. Seeing Monster Hunter Rise on Xbox, it's like, so what? Monster Hunter World looks better.
Yeah, and there's so many other like of these type of games on like the like PlayStation and Xbox that you could play that are better than it. Like for me, like there's all the Final Fantasy games. I'd much rather play any of those.
They're RPGs, aren't they?
Oh yeah, but I mean this is sort of an RPG as well. Like obviously you've got the co-op mechanic, but like
more crafting than levels.
I'd say
it's a crafting action game with RPG.
I mean it's just upgrading just the same, innit? Like you're upgrading your crafting. It looks the same.
Upgrading Gran Turismo, but I don't call it an RPG. But it could be considered as well.
Okay, sure. But yeah, that one's not for me, unfortunately. And then I did try Tomb Raider Underworld. Played a bit of that on Xbox 360 through back compat on the Series X. A really good game. Really enjoying that so far. I've done a few levels in it now. Couple of crashes though, like weird crashes where it's like the game just fucking hangs. It's like, and you're like, oh, it's like, you know, them ones where the disc fucking spins wrong or whatever. Like, like it's like that, or like if you took the disc out, like it feels like that. And I'm like, this shouldn't happen. I'm like playing like this because this doesn't happen when I'm playing any Xbox One game. Like it's very weird. It's actually never happened to me. I don't like even when I was playing Assassin's Creed or anything, like any of the Xbox 360 games, but it's happening with this game for some reason. But it's like it doesn't put me back that. Really difficult to get through or anything. So, and the last thing I tried before we talk about Atomic Heart was Axiom Verge 2. So this is if you like Metroid games, this is the game for you. It's basically a Metroid rip-off game.
That's why we need to do a show. Candy's just like ripped off 20 games here. Like, we've still got that news I wanted to talk about.
I thought I hadn't really played it, but Axiom Verge 2, but I don't have a huge amount to say about it. Just it's basically a Metroid game. So if you like Metroid and you want to play it on a PlayStation or an Xbox or on Switch, play it because it's quite good. It's about all I've got to add about it so far. Yeah, that apart from Atomic Heart, that's what I played.
I've not really played much. I'll wait till I get my shopping list out from last year. So I'll cut it short because I want to finish at 11 now because I'm tired. So like, there is a couple of things I want to speak about. So Xbox is obviously scrambling trying to get the Activision Blizzard agreement to go through. And today Nintendo signed an official legal document that bound Xbox to a contract to provide them with not just Activision games, but specifically Xbox games for the next 10 years, right? Which is cool. That's good.
Yep.
They also went to, it wasn't Steam, but similar, NVIDIA for GeForce, and they signed the legally binding agreement to get the games for 10 years.
Nice.
NVIDIA's signed it. So the next one up, Steam, we've not heard back yet. Sony, given the same document, going, look, we're legal document, we will give you these, we're answering all your complaints here. 10 years, you're guaranteed them. Sony said, no. That was the news at 7:45 tonight. That was the last one. Yeah. Sony turned around and went, no, we're not signing it. they have fucked themselves so bad with this because see if this deal flops, Activision need it to go through because we're struggling. Sony can't afford to buy them. So it's not like Sony can go, oh, we'll buy you now. What's going to happen if this doesn't go through is Activision is going to go, okay, Call of Duty, even if it's 2 months early on Xbox, people will jump ship.
Yep.
And they will do that. They'll be like, don't want to cannibalize all our sales. PlayStation's a big market, but we could fuck them over for like their hardware. Okay, COD 6 months early on Xbox or 2 months. Like I said, even 2 months early is enough for folk to go, I'm getting an Xbox.
I think even just having COD on Game Pass is going to be enough to get people to buy an Xbox.
Yeah, but they'll do it early because remember, they used to do this with PlayStation. PlayStation talking about fair competition. I was still getting DLC on the Xbox for Call of Duty Black Ops 3 when the next game was out. The next game was out, but I'd paid for the season pass, and I'm like, but I want to play this because PlayStation had paid to hold it back in Xbox. So it was like 3 months behind. So Activision are going to be very mad because they're going to have to be layoffs if this deal doesn't go through because they can't afford to keep operating. And all Xbox is going to turn around and do is going, okay, we're going to buy Sega, we're going to buy Konami, we're going to buy Ubisoft. Fuck you. Keep your COD. We're just going to buy the rest of them. They will. Microsoft won't be done after this.
I know. I think it's all right. I think what will happen is if the deal doesn't go through, which I still think it will go through. Like I don't think there's enough.
At the moment, it can't because it needs to be approved by. I think it's like 70%. 70%. No, it's not court. Like so, there's like different nations. You've got like Asia, all the market. There has to be like a 70-30 split of approval, and at the moment, it's. There's like say 3 say yes and 3 say no. So if one more says no, it can't go through because the markets have deemed it not fair practice. Because the UK said no. I think Europe or Russia, one of them said no, and someone else said no already.
Russia. Why the fuck are they counting Russia?
Why that's what I thought. I went, why are they asking them?
Yeah,
why are they asking them? Legalities, obviously, clearly.
No, we're just looking for someone to go, that's fine.
No, they have to ask each market. And obviously there's like the Brazil market, the European market, Asian, whatever. And it's like neck and neck. So like if one more says no, it can't go through.
I mean, that would suck, I think. But like if it doesn't go through, I think what would probably happen is
exclusive games from Activision to Xbox. They'll pay me the money. They'll be like, okay, we can't give you 69 billion, but what if we give you 6 billion for exclusivity for your games for a while?
Yeah,
they can't stop that because Sony's doing it with Square.
100%, right? Yeah, like they can just make a deal for like even just for fucking COD. Like, yeah, cool. Well, do you know what? Like you had
Phil Spencer should.
Yeah, 100%.
And then he should come out and go available anywhere where you can get Game Pass. That's what you should say. Anywhere you can get Game Pass, play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I would 100% do that because they've got the money to do it. If the whole company cost 69 billion and they were going to pay it, they've got money to buy COD just alone off them. Because one of the suggestions I seen the FTC suggesting, right, they would agree to the deal only if, and I think that's the Fair Trade Commission or whatever it is, only if Microsoft bought Activision and then sold the Call of Duty name. Why would they do that? Microsoft said no. They said no. We're buying the company. We're not going to sell the biggest asset.
It's our company.
It's like buy Apple but sell the iPhone.
Yeah, it's silly. What they could do though is instead of buying Activision, they go, okay, well we're not allowed to buy Activision. Let's just buy Call of Duty, buy the license, buy all the fucking studios, and just take that.
Because then that's a game. Because they can't complain because they just bought
Bungie last year. Exactly, yeah, they can't complain about that at fucking all. And then once they've bought that, then what's to stop them going and buying the rest of Activision? Because Sony won't care.
Sony won't want it then. Yeah, they won't care.
Yeah,
that Microsoft will have plans B, C, and D like that. And I think if it comes to it and it's all no, what will happen is Activision and Microsoft will agree behind the scenes. Okay, so Call of Duty is now exclusive to Xbox for the next 5 years. Fuck off.
Yeah.
So Activision have got money to stay afloat. Microsoft haven't spent as much, and then they go out and they go, "See that deal you've got with fucking Square? We own the company. Get out." They'll start doing stuff like that. They'll just be like, "Fuck it, we're just buying everything else." Then,
I mean, even like the exclusive deals that Sony had,
stupid.
Like, the Bethesda and all that. Like,
does Sony not realize how much they're shooting themselves in the foot for future relations with Activision at all? Because see if they keep saying no and the deal goes through, Sony's going to be like, Call of Duty's not coming to you at all, mate. You had the opportunity to sign it for 10 years and you turned it down.
I mean, I think the thing is, like, look at Minecraft. So, like, Microsoft bought Mojang.
Microsoft will pull that. Microsoft will pull that now.
They might as well, yeah. But Minecraft is still available to buy on PlayStation.
They said, why would they cut themselves off their biggest install base for Call of Duty? Yep. Phil Spencer said that why would they? They've got a legal document saying there's 10 years of sales, PlayStation versions of Call of Duty, not Game Pass. You can buy Call of Duty for the next till 2033. You're going to get Call of Duty, and Sony went, no. What are you doing? Like, you need to have a counter offer then. They're acting like they were in a bidding war. They can't afford that division.
Yeah. I mean, they're scared, Sony, I think, of this. Very scared.
But they're doing all the wrong things, right? I because if the deal goes through, Xbox are going to turn around and go, well, you don't get Call of Duty at all now because you were offered it for 10 years and you said no.
Yep. I actually think that they would still put it on PlayStation to some degree, just so they wouldn't upset gamers, because they don't want to upset gamers, right? Like, they don't care about upsetting Sony particularly, but they don't want to upset the kind of core gamer base.
But it's not going to be day one. It's not going to be day one.
It doesn't need to be day one though. Like, they'll be like, oh cool, like Xbox Game Pass
only on Xbox
Deluxe Edition day one, or day -7, so you get it a week early, like that type of thing. Remember they do that.
Call of Duty comes out when? October.
Yeah, October, something like that. Yeah.
I would release it in January on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah,
I'd be like, it's available 2 months exclusive to Xbox. Well, when's it coming to us? January. Which isn't a bad time for games, but you've missed the Christmas market when all the kids are going to I want an Xbox to play it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
FOMO will hit. All the streamers are playing it already. All the competitive guys moved to Xbox because they want the edge.
Yep.
Mate, they're doing the wrong things. Sony's just shooting themselves in the foot. And like I said, if the deal goes through, they're going to be like, we don't have to guarantee you fuck all.
Yep, we offered you a deal, you didn't take it, so fuck you.
Sorry, fuck off. Nintendo and Steam can enjoy it. You can sit and fucking wallow with your Uncharted.
I'm excited to see what they put onto Nintendo, honestly.
COD Mobile.
Well, whatever it is, like
Candy Crush. They didn't specifically say COD. They didn't say COD. They said Xbox games.
Whatever.
Ori's already there.
Whatever they put on there, like, I'm cool with that. No, they said Call of Duty, I'm sure.
No, they didn't. No, they said Xbox games. So what they've already got an Xbox deal with them.
Yeah, but I mean, they've guaranteed it for 10 years. So, like, I'm excited to see what Activision games come over then, put it that way. Like, because they can put
World of Warcraft on there would be a fucking banger.
Yeah,
and there's a version of that would run.
100%, yeah. Like, even if they put Warcraft Classic on it, like, that would be cool. That's like
Warcraft 3.
No, sorry, Warcraft Classic, because that's like the original game, and then they put in the older expansion.
No, of course, yeah, that's what I mean. Like with the lesser graphics version, the originals, put that on it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Nintendo are quite happy. I think it's weird that Nintendo's the Japanese company, and they've got a better relationship with Xbox than Sony's ever going to be able to have. And it's because Nintendo were welcoming, and they're like, yeah, okay, we'll work with you. And because of that partnership, the world does now get GoldenEye in the modern consoles because they've worked together. It's amazing. And like, it's showing you that that's beneficial for both parties, because they're like, yeah, okay, you need to sign in, but I already have to sign into my Microsoft account on Minecraft. So like, it doesn't make a difference, but Sony turned their nose up at that first as well.
They make you fucking sign into Ubisoft accounts and EA accounts and everything for all their games. So like, what difference does it make if it's a fucking Microsoft account?
I had to sign up for an account I'd never heard of today with a game that I'm playing. It's not out yet.
Yeah, exactly. So
I was like, who cares? But yeah, anyway, that was that news, right? So the other news is that Forspoken apparently was nothing like Gary Whitta's original pitch, because you might know that Gary Whitta was involved with that game.
Yeah.
And he says, what happened was Square came to me 5-6 years ago and said, we've got an idea, but it's just a gem. Would you build it out and flesh out the mythology and story? So he started, and apparently one of the only contributions that was left in the final game was the name of the world, Athia. And there's apparently, they've changed everything. But I mean, if you've seen Forspoken, I would be distancing myself from that as well.
Yeah, fair play. Like, I mean, he is a good writer, and from what I've seen, from what I saw in the trailers, I liked what I saw. Like, I think you did as well. It was cool.
I would have, see if they didn't release the demo. I was hyped for this game. I was like, I can't wait. This looks like a banger of a PlayStation game. And I'm glad they did. The demo was almost, well, heads up, don't spend £70 on this. But it's actually like, and I'm glad it did, because I would have dropped money in that. And you know me, I would have bought it digital. I'd have bought the deluxe version because I was so excited for it.
Yeah.
And then the demo comes out, and I'm like, oh, so this is what playing a concept feels like.
Yeah. And I actually watched some reviews of it, like after that, to be like, okay, well, maybe it's improved since the demo. No, it hasn't. It's the same. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I'm glad I didn't buy it.
Yeah, so there was some other news as well. So I wanted to show you something, Andy. Don't do that. Don't do that. What are you doing? I've tried to, because I use this for my old work. It's trying to send it to O2's network. Don't do that. Right, present share screen. This one. I want to show you this because I found out about this today, and I'm buying this. I'm day one in this, man. Tell me what the fuck. What do you think this game looks like?
Oh, so you shared this to me earlier, but I didn't actually watch the trailer yet, so you can get my reaction to it. Oh, it's Star Fox.
Yeah, this game's coming out at £6.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm sold. I love Star Fox. This is Star Fox with cool geometry style shapes and stuff.
I quite like the graphical style. It's any different.
It's Star Fox though.
Yeah, it's Star Fox. So yeah, if you want a new Star Fox game, this is it.
That's it. But I mean,
see it like a full price game or even like 20, 30 quid, something like that. Like I'm not touching that, but see it's £6. Yeah, fucking £6. Yeah, definitely. It looks well worth £6. Definitely.
It looks like obviously that's heavily inspired by Star Fox, 100%, and it's got a cool art style twist on it to differentiate it. It's called First Squadron as well.
Nice.
So, like the closest thing we've had to Star Fox was that Starlink game, which is still actually pretty good, and I should go and play it again. I mean, look at the character.
Jesus, I mean, it's like it looks like a fox, but it's not a fox. So that's what like a weasel.
Raccoon weasel. Yeah. Then you get this guy, and
some weird alien.
Honestly, man, see for £6, I'm in. So it's obviously on phones by the looks of it, Steam and Switch. So Switch is that's a Nintendo game.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. I was like, as £6 game, like you said, if that was maybe like 40, 50 quid, I'd be like, I ain't paying that for that.
Yeah.
But you give £6, yeah, I'll try it. So like, I'm going to go back and try and finish Starlink because on the Nintendo Switch, what people might not realize listening, it's a Star Fox game because what they did on the Switch, instead of these bland who cares characters, they added the Star Fox crew in to a game that already had some it was like a kind of light version of No Man's Sky in a way.
Yeah.
And it was boring though because the characters no one cared, but they've added in the Star Fox characters and they replaced the enemies with Star Fox enemies and it plays like a Star Fox game. You even fly the R-Wing, yeah. You fly Fox's ship and everything. So I need to go back and finish it because I did put some time into it. It was a very fun game, and like I know you've got a hate story for that game, but I got the full digital deluxe for like £10 on sale one day, so I got everything unlocked because they originally sold this as a Toys to Life game. This is why it failed and won't come back. And it was
I still have it here.
Andy bought it day one.
Like it's right here.
He bought it day one. There's Fox there. And it's very neat. And like, but they filled the game stores, they flooded the game stores. But what no one gave them the memo of was that everybody else was giving up. Like Lego was packing in, Disney Infinity was going. These were the last kind of guys trying to jump on, and no one bought it. And Andy, 2 months after Andy bought the game full price, what was it? I sent you a photo. I think it was Boxing Day. I went into Game and Air in the way somewhere with Tasha, and I picked it up for like $9.99, the full box game.
Yep.
And I played it then. I remember I bought a game from shop2.net or somewhere, and they sent me I've got a fully unopened box of it upstairs. And I said, why have you given this? So they said, we need to get rid of our stocks. We're literally just sending them to customers. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep it. Thanks. And I haven't opened it. But then, like I said, the digital deluxe version for like a tenner or maybe £15 or whatever it was, I'm like, that's totally worth it because then everything's unlocked in the game. Because the problem was, if you wanted a second starship, you had to buy the toy originally. Yeah. If you wanted another character, you had to buy the toy. If you wanted new weapons, you had to buy the toys. Otherwise, you were stuck with the basic ship, which I get to a point because it was kind of a more grown-up Skylanders. And like, it was very cool. You could fly to different planets. You battled across planets. You fought bosses, explored. But the deluxe version just unlocks everything, so it feels like a whole complete game. So I'm going to go back and play that. I did download it the other day, but I haven't touched it yet because I kept trying the mines at Metroid. I must have tried the mines backwards and forwards for a good few hours, man. It's going to be one of those levels where I just do it one day and it works. That's what I reckon is going to happen with Metroid. Because I'm just jumping into my games here because I wanted to be finished 5 minutes ago and I've got another one to talk about. So I didn't just play Atomic Hearts. I also played another game this week called Wild Hearts.
Nice.
Now, Wild Hearts ticks every box and complaint you had from Monster Hunter.
Okay.
It's got the same cool setup as Monster Hunter, but it feeds you these easy guys at the start. It's like, have a shot, take them down, do this, do that. Whereas you're right, Monster Hunter Rises, it's a big fuck off guy going chip away at him. But don't get me wrong, there are guys in Wild Hearts that it's like, oh fuck, and they run away. And it's very Monster Hunter like. But it's got a huge twist that it doesn't feel clunky. It's not like go in one area, it loads the next area, and that blah, 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 and follow the trail. It's like the map's open. You just run to where it is. But there's another twist. This is not just Monster Hunter. This is Fortnite thrown in, Andy.
Okay. How?
It's got building elements, Andy. And you know I don't like building elements, Andy. However, these are on-the-fly moves that work really well. So it's simple. Right. So you hack away at stones to get materials as you're exploring, because you can explore, you can get stuff to cook, to eat, same as Monster Hunter, blah, blah. You can invite people at your campfire, come and play me. You can call for people as you go and come and help me fight this boss, blah, blah. And then you might find thread, and what you do is you put 3 boxes down, you've got something to stand on. You put 6 boxes down, it turns into a wall. So you just literally tap LB and go X, 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 and I can't build Fortnite, you know this.
Yep.
You do that, and there's a wall. So then the monster runs into it. You hold LB and you push like B 3 times. Once you've unlocked the spring, 3 springs on top of each other suddenly become a big hammer that bashes into the monster. So they become these on-the-fly kind of special abilities. Yeah, that's traps. Cool. Like you're throwing traps at them almost. But you have to think, and it has to become a combination. So like I said, it's 9 boxes, so it's 3, 3, and 3. So you have to push LB and go 3, 3, 3. But you don't really have to like aim it like Fortnite to build it. It's like 3 boxes, then I'll put down 3, 3 more. Oh, there you go. It's a wall. So then the monster gets attracted to it and it stuns it. So then you can jump off the wall and do an attack from above. If you get, like I said, the spring will bounce you towards it. You put 3, it becomes a hammer. You can build like helicopters, gliders like Zelda. You can buy like wheels that you go in that travel about the land. All this inside a Monster Hunter style universe. My only biggest, the biggest gripe I had with the game was the fact that the game looks fucking stunning at parts, and then all of a sudden it looks hot garbage. It's like what, like goes from looking like a premium Series X game, like this game needs a photo mode good, to this looks like an early Xbox One game. Like there's clipping, there's sometimes like stutter, and it's like, why is it doing this? But it's not enough to put me off. Like I reviewed this game this week. It's on the Xbox Hub. I gave it 4 out of 5, which is a respectable score. I'm having so much fun, but this is the game that I'm having problems with because they've got a 10-hour trial on EA and it's the full game.
Yep.
And I highly recommend you go and play it. And obviously, thank you to EA. I got the code to review it, but there are some people out there that spent £80 on the deluxe version that I got the code for. I booted up the game and I didn't get the DLC, Andy, and I'm like, oh well, I'm here to play the game, I'm here to review it. Like I sunk in about 15 hours or nearly 20 over the weekend to it, and I'm like, I'm fine with it. I'll go back and I'll play bits of it. I'm okay. There's a forum with 19 pages of people going, where's my DLC? I've paid $89.99 for this game and you can't give me my DLC. So what's happened is the DLC wasn't actually installable. Right. It looks like it was server-based, so it had to be assigned to your account, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And anybody, it seems to be affecting anybody that played the 10-hour trial first and then got the game, got the deluxe one, hasn't got it because the version that you're playing
that really sucks. That really sucks because if you've gone from the 10-hour trial and went, I really like this, I'm going to
I'm getting the deluxe version.
Yeah, like that really sucks for those guys. Like they'll make that right though. Like they'll fix that.
They have to. I mean, like if you've bought that's £90 you've put in their pocket. Even with the EA discount, it's £80 for the deluxe one. So like all the people buying it, most of them are like, well, I did play the trial because I was excited for the game and I liked it, so I played it. And I played the trial before I got my code. I was going to buy this game, and then it turned out I was the one assigned. I was the main reviewer for the Xbox Hub, so I was like, okay, I'll play it, man. And cool, they've gave me the Karukai edition, I think it's called. I'm like, oh, excellent, I get some cool new costumes. And I wasn't overly bothered because, like I said, I was reviewing the game, but at the same time, that sucks, the fact that it's been out for a week now, and folk are still like, well, what are you going to do? I've paid you money for this, give me my stuff.
Definitely.
So like, but anyway, aside from that, the game is really fun, really, really fun. The story's better than Monster Hunter. Story's actually a story. I'm actually really impressed with what they've done with it. There's about 5 different areas. There's more. There's a roadmap for it already, so they're adding more monsters, more areas down the road. So I would definitely say, Andy, download that EA trial.
Right? I'll try it. I'll jump 100%. Yeah,
I'll jump in and help you because it's the full game. Like I said, it's not a case of you're limited. You know what the 10-hour trials are. It's like you're downloading the full game and then it comes to a paywall. Give it a shot anyway, and we'll maybe you'll like it because it sounds to me like all the problems you had with Monster Hunter are actually solved by Wild Hearts.
Yeah, it sounds
it's fun. It's easy to access. You don't have the whole you need to sharpen your weapon system or they get blunt. There's none of there's no.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's why I think this is more welcoming. There might be some hardcore Monster Hunter fans that are like, oh, it's too easy. This is easy mode. It's fine for me, man. I'm enjoying it. And like the beasts are giant. Like you got a big giant boar thing that like they've got stages as well. So when they get angry, if you chip bits off them. Because also there's an element of Shadow of the Colossus in this, Andy, because you can climb the monsters a lot easier than you can in Monster Hunter Rise. You can just because it's got like a Zelda-style climbing system in it. Like you hold RB and you climb. You can climb the monsters as well. You can chip bits off them. Like I'm just using the standard samurai sword, but there's like other weapons as well, like a giant hammer. You get like an umbrella that focuses on parrying. You get knives that can make you like throw yourself at the guy, and just the crafting in it. And I don't like crafting. I don't like Fortnite building, but this has took all these games and smashed it into one. This could be one of my Game of the Year contenders. It's definitely high up. So I really like Wild Hearts. I can't talk about it. I was going to say about a game. It's not out. I'll talk about it next week, hopefully. So the other game that I wanted, there was more news that I wanted to speak about. I can't remember it now because Andy read me a Santa list from a greedy boy. So I did play Atomic Heart last night, but I only played an hour of it because I was tired. It came out at midnight, and for once it dropped at midnight. Played an hour of it, so it took about half an hour to get to the start sequence, the title, and then I got to the underground bunker, and I explored a wee bit there. And what this game is BioShock Russia, like BioShock Motherland. If this game had the BioShock logo and name, I wouldn't bat an eyelid. I'd literally be like, yes, this is BioShock 4. Cool, let's go. It feels very much. It's got elements of Wolfenstein as well to a point, because Wolfenstein was kind of dystopian, not cyberpunky, but steampunk feeling. Like it's got feelings
it's like of Wolfenstein, sort of history sort of thing.
Like Russia won World War II instead of like us. So like it's weird, and it's all technologically advanced for like the 50s, if you know what I mean. Like how they saw the future being in the 50s, and that's what's happened. And you're this kind of, I don't really know what you are, because at the start you're on this boat and it's quite cool. The water looks really nice in it. I thought this could be one of the water ones for this year's Game of the Year, but I'm sure we'll get better. Spider-Man 2 specifically, when we see that water. But then you've seen all these robots and you just know they're going to turn bad. Like, see when you see them, you're like, And this is kind of what happened to BioShock. And then like there's a point where you get thrown down a lift and there's a thing that looks like a big daddy that jumps at you. And I'm like, this is fucking BioShock, man.
Yeah,
this is 100% BioShock. Did you get to that part where I think it's just after the granny shoots things, it jumps out the sky and it's got like a big bulbous head and it's got the dots like the big daddy. And I'm like, you know that Leonardo DiCaprio gif?
Yep.
That's BioShock point at this game. The whole vibe of it, the stylings, like even the music, the kind of do, like it's all BioShocky feeling. Like
100%, mate, yeah. I've basically just got to that point. Like I played it tonight just for like less than an hour, maybe like 45 minutes or something. And I got to the point where the elevator sort of falls down, you end up in that complex, and I stopped playing there. But yeah, like I like the vibe of it so far. Obviously, I've not really done very much combat or anything at all.
There's not much at the start. There's a few robots you can.
Yeah, there's a couple of robots that I hacked, and what I did like was I had like a fireman axe sort of thing, and it did, at them, and it decapitated their head. Like it took their head clean off. And I'm like,
so I agree with that because
cool.
melee in games like with that, usually have to happen 2 or 3 times. I swung it once and it sliced his body in half. I swung at the other guy and it sliced his head off. And I'm like, this is what axes do in real life. In games normally it's.
That's cool though, because like I aimed at their head both times and like took the head off both times. So that's cool. If it aims at somewhere else in their body, it will do something else. I aimed
and it kind of slashed down like that, and he fell in half.
Yeah. I mean, these are like basic bitch enemies, so they should die in one hit, which I appreciate. I always appreciate that. Yeah, I like the vibe of it and everything so far. Like, it seems like a really interesting world, and like obviously it is extremely inspired by BioShock. It's quite obvious that you're gonna get like the wee powers and stuff, and they're gonna go into your glove, and you're gonna have like magic powers or whatever it is.
Yep.
Fine. That's cool.
BioShock.
It's BioShock.
And I'm fine with that because I had a BioShock itch. I downloaded the trilogy on the PlayStation like 2 weeks ago, and then I hadn't read up too much in Atomic Heart, and then I seen a trailer or two, and I got hyped, and I'm like, I watched more, and I read some stuff, and I'm like, this has got a very BioShock feel to it. And then, like, I didn't end up reviewing it for the Xbox Hub. Somebody else did that, but like, it was midnight drop anyway, so I'm like, yeah, fine, Game Pass, great. Honestly, everything about this, it just screams BioShock. Like, if this came up with 2K BioShock, I jokingly call it BioShock Motherland, but that's literally what it is.
But yeah, from the first like 45 minutes, an hour of it, like, really like the vibe. I'm looking forward to seeing how the gunplay is, because obviously there will be guns and stuff in it.
I've got a shot. You get underground yet? Like, there's a bit where you meet the granny and she tells you to go down.
Yeah, I've just got underground basically.
There's like a safe room just before you meet your first enemy, and I don't know whether I get the gun off of him because he kind of comes out of a window,
right?
And he took a few more hits to go down. To be fair, you find I've got a shotgun, but I didn't use it. Told me no, you get it before him because it told me to use the shotgun on him, and I didn't. I just swung the axe, and it did take 2 or 3 hits. So there are stronger enemies, but there are safe rooms, and you go in there. And I like that idea, but that also means that things are going to fucking chase you, man. Things are going to come after you. You're going to have to wait them out, and I specifically think it's the Russian Big Daddy. That's what we've seen. It had a big circle head with 3 dots.
I like the enemy design as well, though, because like the robots kind of like remind me of the iRobot robots.
It looks like sex dolls.
Yeah, like a kind of weird sex doll. And I'm like, I'm cool with fucking chopping the heads off these things anytime. Like, that's.
I thought the woman was going to see the female robot.
Yeah.
They looked like they were going to turn as well, but they seem to be on your side still. The blonde ones. Yeah. It's all the men with the mustaches that have turned against you.
Well, I mean, some of them didn't have mustaches. Like, did you go in? You tried to go into the like the sort of the toilet? No, like, see,
I tried to get past the 2 giant golden bronze women who just stood there not letting me. Sorry, which was the most pointless trip I've ever experienced in a video game ever. It's like, got this fucking endless elevator, and okay, it was kind of cool because it was showing you this trailer for
you a key, and you have to go all the way back down. Yeah.
And then you go up to one room, and you're like, oh my god, I want to have a look in here because there's like a plane that's been in the floor and stuff. And I'm like, I want to go over there, and these 2 big women just sticking there with their chests out. 2 of them not letting you pass. These robots, faceless golden robots, they're giant as well. And it's like, are you joking me? Because the elevator ride wasn't quick. It took ages. Back down, I think, was a bit quicker from what I remember. But going up, it took forever. But I think it was to show you that trailer for the mind thing, because you're obviously, like you said, going to get one to get your powers and stuff. Because you walk past a few of the salesmen at the start, and you're like, no thanks, buddy. No thanks. And I'm sure the voice actor's V from Cyberpunk. It sounds very familiar.
Yeah. from yours, but from the trailers, it does sound similar. But yeah, it seems like a cool game so far, and it looks pretty decent. Like, graphic-wise, it looks good.
I've seen some hitches. There was a part where, before I met up with that granny, whatever her name is, there was like a big wavy snake robot thing. Like over by the cliff. That kind of went all fuzzy for me as it moved.
Oh, that never happened for me. But no, because
the patch came out tonight for 60 gig, by the way.
Yeah. I did install that, so that maybe fixed that already.
Yeah, but I was like, this patch better not add another 60 gig because the game's already like quite.
I think it's just giving you like a new, like a full
version of the
game. Yeah. But you know, like for that woman, that granny, like I went up to like a toilet, went to open because someone was shouting, and you opened the toilet, and then the guy.
And the guy grabbed you. Sorry, yes, and he tries to throw you in the toilet.
He's like fucking robot Hitler. Like, try to shove you in a toilet. Like,
and then she bust like his head open, and it looked even worse when the face was open. And I've seen a trailer with them walking about with their faces open with the eyes like that later on, and I'm like, this looks creepy. But BioShock get creepy as it went on.
Like, I'm not creeped out so far, but like I like the enemy design. Like, I like the flying robot things as well. Like, they look cool. So they've done some interesting stuff there. Like and like it definitely gives you BioShock vibes, but like I mean, BioShock 1 and 2 are quite separate from 3, even in their like enemy design and everything.
It's because BioShock 1 and 2 are in their own world, and BioShock Infinite's not in Rapture, it's in the clouds. It's the same universe, but it's somewhere else. This could easily be BioShock, but it's not underwater or in the clouds. This is what the Down on Earth looks like.
So, like, if this stays, like, if this continues on like this, I'll probably just treat it as a like me thinking of it as a
it's headcanon Bioshock.
It's headcanon Bioshock, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you're right. There's nothing directly that ties Infinite to the originals. There's not even big. There might be. There's probably mentions.
There is at the end of the game in Bioshock Infinite. They tie it back round to Bioshock 1, the plane crash and stuff.
Oh, of course, to do with the lighthouse. Yeah,
yeah.
There's always a lighthouse. There's always a man.
Yeah.
Genius. Because they're doing another Bioshock. But I never played I bought Bioshock 2, but I never finished it. So my plan was to finish Bioshock 2. But see, now that I've played this, I'm like, I don't need to play Bioshock 2 right now. I'm just going to play this.
This gets you the edge.
Oh, and it controls the same. You've got like a weapon in one hand at some points, and you've got your glove in the other, which is get this. You do kind of that, and you scan, and and you've got these like tentacle things that come out. That's kind of weird. Yeah, because she's like grab the object that's important, and I like tried to tickle her face, like the. Really fun so far, and it's definitely already got a kind of vibe to it where you can tell it's a dystopia, that everything's going to go wrong. You can already tell that it's going to get worse before it's going to get better, and even then it's like, I think at the end of the game everything's going to go tits up, because it doesn't appear that every robot's attacking you. It just seems to be these kind of worker drones at the moment.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like the story for the guy as well, because like he's obviously got a bit of a past and a story to him, because
the guy you're playing.
Yeah, the guy you're playing as. You don't really they call him just like P3 or something like that just now.
P3. But there was a section where it went really weird where it showed you the character, which doesn't often happen in first person games. And I thought, is this gonna go third person now? That was just before you got the axe, I think, at the start.
But like he's got like, if you look on his right arm, he's got like a shitload of scars and stuff like that on his arm. So like he's obviously been through some shit. So hopefully we'll get to see.
I think he was in the army. Yeah, he was in the army or something, because the way that your guy was speaking about killing someone basically, and he's like, "Oh, you mean taking someone out? No problem." And he goes, "You were a bit too cool about that, there, buddy." And he goes, "It's not a problem to me. Just point me the right way." So he was obviously a Marine or something, or because your job's to kill the guy that's gone corrupt, and basically that guy's corrupted all the robots.
Yeah. Seems to be that's the kind of main overarching story. But like I think there's going to be some choices in this game as well, because like at the very beginning of the game, it like asks you to choose if you want to drink the soda or not. I drank it. I was like, yeah, I'll drink it. Like it looks alright.
Do you want a soda, comrade? I was like, yeah, give us it.
Why not? But I mean, maybe that could have an effect later on down in the game. We don't know. Maybe
you took the soda.
Maybe we swallowed like a tracking pill or something like that, and that, you know, like, so they can keep an eye on us, where we could hide if we didn't take it. I don't know.
Because I think it's not going to be that guy. It's going to be that the guys in charge of you are actually the bad ones, and they've set you up and whatever. There's always twists in these sort of games.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
I like the whole vibe of it. Like, the combat and everything seems fine as long as the shooting mechanics work fine. Then I think this is going to be a fucking good game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's meatier than I expected it to be. It even feels bigger than Infinite, and Infinite was a bigger area than Bioshock. These are the games I'm going to be comparing it to till I finish it. Because I can tell these days, am I going to finish this game? And this is a game I'm seeing through to the end. This is one I want to beat. And at the beginning, when you're going through that kind of like, I don't know if it's meant to be like the Red Square. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's meant to be Moscow or whatever it is. But you're going through this sort of area. It just it's not fully open, but it just feels absolutely massive. The scale and the verticality is really impressive in that area. And like, in comparison to Bioshock, which obviously now is like what, 2006, 2007 game, and Infinite was what, 2012, 2011, something like that. So it's like,
fucking hell.
Yeah. So it's going to feel bigger, but 100%, like Andy said, like Bioshock 1 and 2 is Rapture under the sea. Infinite was in the clouds. This definitely feels like what Bioshock would be on the land. Because we've not done that yet in Bioshock. No. So, and I believe they did announce another Bioshock games coming.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there's another one in the works. Yeah, they haven't titled it or given it a number.
No, they said straight away that it's years away yet, and it's only just been started pre-production. Yeah. So this, like who was it pointed out? Jason Schreier, I think, on Twitter, said that if you're planning a game over the last 2-3 years, you're aiming for PS6 because it's like 7-year development cycles at this stage with the consoles. So if you started building a game 2 years ago, you're looking at PS6 for your build.
I mean, and that's it'll probably go to PS5 as well, but like cross-gen sort of thing.
100%. But he said that you're targeting the main version of your game to go to next gen at this stage, which is crazy to think, because PlayStation 5 is only like 3 years old this year.
Yeah. And
like people, it's already right. Well, we need to think about next gen, because when you think about it, see in 3 years they will be looking at PS6, because that would be a 6-year-old console. But it's so funny because, like, my cousin who got one recently, he's like, "Oh, it's good to be on board like the first year. I goes, it's not the first year. This is just when it's available, mate. This is I've been beta testing this beast for the past 2 years. I've had no games till now. I said you've bought it at the right time though, because this year's going to be an absolute classic. Because all the games that were held back from 2020 are coming now. Like Hogwarts for one was held back at least a year or two. But yeah, like PlayStation 5 is going to have an extended life anyway. I think it's going to have an extra couple of years added for the years it lost. 100%.
Definitely.
They want to recuperate some of that. But yeah, Atomic Hearts, like I said, I only put an hour in before I went to bed. So I'm literally probably a few steps ahead of you. Like I got into the bunker and I went down to the first kind of open area because there was a part where a guy was like, help me. And he get dragged away by the robot, the Big Daddy. I'm just calling it the Big Daddy. And then you go in the door and I'm like, I know nothing's going to happen because it was a scripted cutscene to show you the threat. I'm like looking up at the roof, like ducking under the bit where the arm came. I'm like, I'm not getting pulled out by that thing. And then like I went into the first door on the right and it was a save room. And then I came out and a guy came through the wall, just another robot. And I'm like, you're going to die. The only problem I have with these robots is they remind me of the androids from Alien Isolation that put me off that game because it's like dodging this fucking alien's hard enough. These fucking androids that look like, remember the old crash test dummies?
Yep.
They used to have the yellow black. Imagine them without yellow and black. That's what they look like. And these cleaner up guys in Atomic Hearts look very similar to crash test dummies. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. But the minute I chopped one in half, I was like, that actually felt quite cool. And the fact that I can chop you in half instead of like my basic weapon. Like I thought I was going to have to run. It was going to teach me that weapons are breakable here, like Breath of the Wild or something. So my problem is I need to hurry up and finish this because I really wanted to finish Resident Evil 8 before Resident Evil 4 is out, which is pretty soon. And then we're not too far away. We're a week or two away from March, and then we're in the fucking quick road to bloody Tears of the Kingdom. And then after that, it's Final Fantasy 16. Bam! It's everything Starfield. Not long back. Like this is going to be a tough year to get everything that I wanted played. It really is, especially with my reviews in as well. Because I was trying to explain that as well to my cousin that I often don't get the choice of what I'm playing next. Sometimes it's I'm reviewing whatever game's coming out. He's like, "So you won't be playing Hogwarts next week?" I went, "I'll go back to Hogwarts, but I'll be needing to play something else." So.
42 games, mate. That's the challenge. How many have you done so far?
I don't have the list. If you get your phone there, my phone's dead.
I've done 3 so far. 3 games beaten so far, which means I'm way behind schedule.
I think I've done more than 3.
Yeah, you have done more than 3. Hold on, I'll look. Oh no, I can't look because I got a new phone, so I can't look back. I think you've done 4 or 5. You're definitely ahead of me anyway.
I don't know, I've got it on like low ass battery because it's on like big mode. big. I've only done 3.
Are you only on 3? Okay. So we're probably a wee bit behind schedule.
Yeah, I would say so because I've done Ghost Recon Breakpoint, SpongeBob Cosmic Shape. Oh no, I've done 4 now. Because I've done Halo Infinite and I've done at least Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
Yes, I've done 4 now. I finished SpongeBob Cosmic Shape, which was that new SpongeBob game that I was reviewing. Halo Infinite and Hi-Fi Rush. I could probably finish off Wild Hearts. It might take me another week because I'm at the point now where it's like the harder enemies than like just cruising through. But so yeah, I'm behind. But at the moment, I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy, Metroid Prime, Age of Calamity. I'm trying to beast through that, but that's a bigger game than I realised. It's really good, and I hate rushing it. And I've had it sitting there for 3-4 years, but I want to finish it before Tears of the Kingdom. Super Mario 3D World, I'm playing with Lexi. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, I don't know why I started it. It's a fantastic game, but it's 140 odd hours. Resi 8, I wanted to finish, but on my planned list, I've got Atomic Hearts, Resi 4, Suicide Squad, Wo Long that's coming out soon, Jedi Survivor, Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16, Starfield, and then Wolf Among Us 2 is the end of the year. So,
nice. Wolf Among Us 2 will be short.
And that's what we know. That's the ones that are announced, man. They could come out and go, oh yeah, second half of the year, bang, 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 bang. I was kind of hoping to have Metroid Prime finished by now, but I'm so stuck that I'm now making stupid mistakes and I'm dying and it's putting me off playing it. And it's not the game's fault. It's a very high difficulty spike compared to what has been up to now. Usually it's been kind of manageable, but what they've done is they've thrown in like invisible enemies But when you use the like infrared vision, you can't see what color they are, and you have to use the right gun to like if the enemy's purple, you need the purple gun to do damage.
Yeah.
And if you're using the infrared, you can't see what color the invisible guys are, and they're like they're elite soldiers, so they're difficult to take down at this part. And like I can get so far in it, and the save point's so far away. It's just that's its biggest downfall is the antiquated save system. And I know that's even what Dread did. There was no like auto saves in it. It's just the way that the games play out. But for this game, I'm like, no, every time I die and have to go back at this point. But yeah, Metroid Prime, I did want to finish by now. I didn't expect it to take me this long, but obviously I've been distracted by other things I'm playing. I've also got a preview I need to write up in a week's time. Can't even talk about that yet at all. So, and I've got another game that I'm playing just now that I'm hopefully going to have done by Friday. Well, yeah, you can complete it because there's a campaign in it, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But yeah, so I'll have more to talk about next week. I'll definitely have put more time on Atomic Hearts. I'm really impressed by it. Like, I don't even know who makes this game. I don't have a clue.
Nope, neither. No idea.
But I'll tell you what, it feels like fucking 2K. It feels like it feels like BioShock.
Yep.
Because that's what 2K does, BioShock and basketball. So oh, and the WWE games, obviously, because I get back into wrestling like in the last 2 weeks because I haven't watched it in like 5 years since Lex was born. The last one I watched was with our friend Ian. Stayed up and watched the Japanese one that was on early hours in the morning where Chris Jericho went there like a day before Lex was born, and then I just haven't had time. And the storyline with Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn pulled me back in. And I'm like, oh man, it's so good. And WrestleMania's, I've got in at the right time because WrestleMania is always the most exciting time for wrestling. And the Royal Rumble's just finished. Cody Rhodes, who I've always loved, is now back with WWE. Sami Zayn, who I've liked, Kevin Owens, who I met on my honeymoon, which was awesome when we were in Canada, is doing some great work still. And Brock Lesnar's not champion at the moment, and that kind of sickened me anyway of it because he was champion for years. But they've done a smart thing too, okay? They always put their game on sale when the pay-per-view's on. Genius move. Because folk are going to... I bought it. I was like, $14.99? I'm buying it. And then I realised their game is no longer out in game season in October when it used to be out. What they've done now is it's now out 2 weeks before WrestleMania, so they can get those WrestleMania hype buys. And I'm like, that is marketing genius. So like, since the WWE 23 was usually out last year, 23 is out this year, and it's out just before WrestleMania. And I'm like, but I want to play that now as well. I want the new one as well because I do like John Cena, and they've got John Cena's like kind of career mode as the story for this year because it was his 20th anniversary of wrestling, and apparently he's going to be at me now. I'm like, I do want to play that. I've just bought this old one out of excitement. It's not old, don't get me wrong. And I'll tell you something because I did play it. WWE 2K22 is really good because they took 2 years off or a year and a half off to refine it. Remember, because they brought it out and they're like,
it was terrible.
Yearly churn doesn't work. See what they should do with like WWE games, especially, is plan a roadmap for a year and a half. Sell me 2 season passes and tell me up front you're going to get part 1 and part 2, and it's going to take you 9 months for the first one, 9 months for the second. Then we're going to have a whole new game out so that we can work on it. And all you do is content drops, like new arenas for the latest pay-per-views, new hairstyles when the wrestlers change the hairstyle. That's what you need to do. And instead of going, okay, here's a brand new one. What about these characters? What about these wrestlers? Are like, oh, they didn't make the cut. See, that's always annoyed me as well. So why can't you just do like a live service style game where it's like, oh, there's a new content pack of characters. Like it's a tenner if you want the update with 5 new wrestlers. Okay, I'll do that because they've just signed. That's what I would do with it, but we'll need to wait and see. But it controls really nicely. It plays really well. Lexi was having fun with it. She was playing it the other day as well.
Nice.
And like I said, I'm plowing through 3D World, which I'm really enjoying. And I can't get mad at Lexi because she is improving her platform and she's really doing good at it. And she loves the game, but it's Mario's a slow game for me anyway, being a Sonic fan, obviously. Like playing it through with a 5-year-old who's just learning it, it's lovely. But sometimes I'm like, hey, can you just... And then occasionally she'll go ahead of me, which, as you know, puts me in a bubble. But if she dies and I'm in the bubble, kills us both. And I'm like... So sometimes I end up picking her up and just running. Or if she's in a bubble, running from the bubble so that I can just then go, yay, we got the flag finally, because I'm sick of retrying that bit because you keep falling off and knocking off. Or it's like one of those balance things, you know, if you jump on it and it flips. And I'm like, don't stop jumping, Lexi, because I'm like jumping, and she's like, okay, I'll come. And she knocks me off, and I'm like, Lexi, no. And she's like, where did it go, Daddy? I was trying to jump on your platform. I'm like, but it changes. Just stay still. I'll get us there. But yeah, we're actually not doing too bad. We're in maybe World 5 or 6, which is not. I think it's got maybe 8 worlds in it, and I never beat it on the Wii U. Funny thing is, I started playing it with Rachel's wee one, like Saoirse, on the Wii U when it came out. We started playing it off together, and now I'm finally going to finish it with my own daughter, which is fun. So yeah, we're playing that as well. And obviously I've been messing about with some of the Game Boy games. I played a wee bit of Super Mario Bros. Advance 4, which is just Super Mario Bros. 3. I don't get these people that say Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World are some of the best games ever. Fuck off. They are not that good. I would put Sonic 1 over both of them. Yeah, Sonic 1 Mega Drive over both of them.
Yeah.
So, and I don't get it. I don't get the whole fascination with them because I wasn't big on Nintendo then. Like, I didn't have one. I'd played it with my friends, and I'm like, wow, don't tell anyone you've got one of these, by the way, because wait till you see Sonic. Like, I don't like Sonic 1 that much, but I would put Sonic 1 over all of those original Mario Brothers 2D games. All of them. Like Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3, and World. All of them. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like, Mario 3D World was pretty good. And, like, New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii was okay. But in my mind, Mario has never beaten Sonic 2D.
No, I don't think so.
It hasn't. 3D, yeah, okay, we'll give Mario that one, but like 2D, it has not. So I haven't played much of anything else because I played Minish Cap for a wee bit. Really good. That game's phenomenal. I'd started it before, and I can't remember when I started playing it. Really good game though. And what else was on the Game Boy? Because there was another game I played. Oh, Wario Land 3 or 4, whatever one came.
Yeah.
I played that. So that was it. That was all I played. I did want to finish half an hour ago, but we are going to finish up now. That's a 2-hour show for you guys. And I know the title doesn't make sense because the song is Young Hearts, because the title is Wild Hearts Run Free, but I know it's Young Hearts. I just thought it was funny at the time. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Apologies that there was a big gap, but there's going to be that from time to time with this show. Because life gets in the way. I've got 2 young kids, and Andy works in a coal mine, basically. So like, yeah, and he's busy with his work. So yeah, but we'll get back. Hopefully I'll get till 3 because I'm quite interested in making these videos and doing them my way. And I'm not being one of these cheesy YouTubers going, I'm going to be different. I'm doing something different. No, I'm just admitting where my failures are instead of trying to be authoritative and reading a Wikipedia article. I'd rather say what I know about it, what I feel about the things I'm talking about, and I think I know enough to get by. And don't get me wrong, it'll be slightly different from this me going the whatchamacallit and the thing about. It's not going to be that.
Because you won't have me to correct them.
No, I won't. So I'm going to have to look up some stuff, and I'm going to have some notes there. But yeah, it's going to be a bit more produced. But I like my podcast, so it's not going anywhere. We're just not as regular as we are. Last week we probably could have had a show going, but Andy just left me alone because he thought I was busy for Valentine's. I'm like, no man, I made dinner. Like, I've been up to 4. You can tell by my eyes. I'm just tired. I'm starting to get the cold now. It's just run down from having a fucking 2-year-old. That's all that is. I'm like, when's your day off? And Tash like, oh, do you really like me at home? I'm like, yeah, sure, but it's you. No, I just need a hand. Because the other thing is as well, just now, it's tough anyway for us anyway because I'm at home with them. But our parents, both away. My mum's in America and Tash's mum's away to Italy and Spain, everything. So it's like there's not even a please just come for an hour. Just come to the house for an hour. Because sometimes it comes to that because we don't get a lot of childcare. Sometimes it's just like, please just come round. But yeah, so I've got tomorrow. I'm going to probably go off, and even though I'm tired, I'm going to have a cup of tea, play some Atomic Heart. I keep going to Atomic Hearts. Sounds right, but it's Atomic Heart.
Yeah. It's because you're playing Wild Hearts as well.
Because I'm playing Wild Hearts.
And I played Valiant Hearts as well.
Valiant Hearts recently, yeah. Year of the Hearts. But yeah, like this is an insane time to be covering games in any manner because like every week there's like, if there's not big releases, there's like at least games that are interesting as fuck coming out.
Yeah, because like Dead Space and that came out as well.
Dead Space, I totally missed it, and like but I stopped myself from buying it because I knew everything else that was coming. I'm like, I can't, and I've got a feeling I'm going to buy WWE like next month, like because I'm back on WWE mode. I've done a quick catch up over the last 5 years and watched what I was interested in. And like, see, because Leo was up, I stayed up and watched my first pay-per-view in 5 years. So I was like, I'm up anyway. It finishes at 3. Leo didn't go to sleep to 4:30 that night. So normally I'm sitting bored going, oh, I'm not in the mood to watch anything. But I just made my peace with Leo's going to be a wee dick tonight. So I sat upstairs with my headphones, and anytime he cried, I just put it down, went through, put him back down to his bed, came back through. Because what he's doing is throwing his covers, throwing his pillows, just being a wee.
Yeah. The terrible twos, basically, yeah.
Oh, it's awful. I used to throw his mad terrible tantrums just now. But anyway, we better finish up there. That's enough of our talk. Thank you again. We will catch you whenever we're back. Maybe next week. I would like to do another one next week, but we'll see what brings us. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.